evening, good evening. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. I'm Afonso Zain, so right here from the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. We want to welcome all of our folks right here this evening. So no matter where we are, we say good evening to welcome. We're always keeping a fair balance, proportionate for the good of the country. We want to welcome all our folks. Nyaku Kofet, Mustafa Lamy, good evening to welcome to Bana Boyka, Sir James, say Washington, Grand Bassa, you kidding me? Electoral District number 4, oh my goodness, James, Mr. Good, thank you so much for joining us here. This is a patriotism we call for the country, for the guy meant to be up at this time to listen, to know what is going on. We say thank you so much. We value your time. And just share with someone. This is the Diaspora Informative News up there, Liberia Public Radio. Eric, good evening to Mr. Richard Bala. What's up, my man? Zokia Zulu. Renel J.D. Quia, thank you so much. Louise and all of the great guys, Justin Sako, Elotius, Dele Sengbe, to Rita Jasper, to Momolut Binyan, Jackson Colley, Patrick Kennedy, Norway, Jim Davis in the house, Isaac Bentu, good evening, Seku A. Cannon, Queen and King. Why will you get all of these names and how we're going to get that? We say thank you so much for joining us here. I am Afonso Zain, so DJ Khan is in the house. Not forgetting my man, Melvin Tanaya Dan. Thank you so much. Arthur Glasgow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. Amata Yowe is here, man. Their house is packed this Friday. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Let's get a ball rolling right here. The time is fast spent. Do me a favor if you are here. Just hit a share button to invite someone to this conversation here, because it is not about me, it is not about you, but it's about the Republic of Liberia, our motherland. And this is why we find it so much important. Thank you so much. Let's get a ball rolling here this evening. This is how we're going to do it. I am Afonso Zain of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Welcome to the show, no matter where you are. Mustafa Lomit, Washington, Lofa Bridge. You kidding me? Lofa Bridge. Here comes Emily. What are you guys? Emily, you are on vacation or what? You don't like what the politics that is ongoing? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for being here this evening. So let's get the ball rolling. We get a lot to talk about, and hopefully the panel is going to be here. And even if they are not here, I am well equipped together. As long as you are here, the nation is okay. So let's get a ball rolling. To welcome Josephine entering the house. This is LPR, Liberia Public Radio. Welcome to the show. Good evening. Thank you so much. Good evening. To welcome. I'm Afonso Zain, sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. This is the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, keeping the news fair, balanced, and proportionate. No way that we can have this conversation without you being part of this, and so we always hear, no matter why it is, we got to get this conversation going. That's the executive mansion of the Republic of Liberia, built in the 60s. That's the official residence of the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. It has been heavily contested. And out of almost 16 or 17 persons, only we are is down to the 2. And it is important we have this conversation. How are these conversations been going on? Is it been going on fair? Are the Liberians given the opportunity to be able to make independent decision with respect to their direction? Or DJ will come is going to CDC and I'm going to be very realistic here. Grace, good evening, welcome. I want to use my own sister Grace Collier as a case, and Grace is going to Unity Party. So we should determine individual destination as to who to support. And if this person doesn't, for whatever reasons of their own political argument, for whatever reason they're not supporting that party, then we come to the conclusions they are on the west side of the wall, they are demons, and they do not know what they are going, because simply they have that political disagreement or some sort of political ideology. This is the second thing in the country for which the country is going the way it's going, because we are unable to have these honest, genuine conversation without this sort of stereotype and names calling. Even if she is going on the left and I'm going on the right, I should be able to, if I want her or him on my side, I should be able to make the arguments so that that person can come. How many of us are doing that? The endorsement is all over the place. So what is the impact of this political endorsement? What sort of dividends it bring to the table? Bear with me here. I see the system somehow doing stuff. I was saying here, so I try to do some sort of adjustment, but hopefully it will be okay. No matter what it is, it's not going to deter. Or hope I'm audible. If I'm audible, just somebody just hit me a thumbs up so I will get that indication. So that's what is much more important to me. But we also keep records here with politicians as to whether they can live up to their commitment. I have said this and I will continue to say it. Always be able to make an independent decision. Do not allow other people decisions to drive your own motive. If your beliefs, your convictions is not compatible with anyone, do not hang up with them, because you guys will not be on course. You'll be going left and she or he will be going to right. We should allow people to make independent decisions. That way they are held responsible and accountable of decisions they are made. And we must give them the opportunity. We must be convincing to them. But how many of us today who support CDC, those who support Unity Party, where is the tolerance? Where is the tolerance when Winston Nambwe say I'm a seditious? Where is the tolerance on the part of the Unity partisans to say, no, you are on the wrong side of history, come to my side? Where is the tolerance when Garrison Tanyina say I am supporting Unity Party? No, don't go to CDC. How many of us are willing to have this national conversation without calling names, without being sectionalists, without being tribalists, without us being divisive? That's a sad thing here. And we're going to have a conversation. And I'm going to share my own experience yesterday in Fort Lauderdale, in Florida, in the courtroom, in what appears to be the final countdown of the former CEO of Mr. Osborne Networks, Stanton Waterspoon. Very proud. 2 Liberia's network were accredited. And there is a reason for which the LPR presence should be felt. You or people can give it whatever interpretation it is. But there is a principle to reason. We have to go where the news is. We have to be fair, balanced, and objective in our reporting. And that's one of the reasons. And I think we in the media industry, whether it be in Liberia or USA, we also owe the public. The media is the conduit between the citizens and it's the government, the citizen and its people. So there is a greater portion, but I do understand the media of today, how polarized it is. The independence of media industry has become questionable. And not just only Liberia, right here in the USA. And this is why it's one of the reasons standards that we set on this network. And I intend as a head of this network to uphold that principle, because I did get that advice for people in the industry that I had the opportunity to sit with. That is the National Public Radio, NPR, in my own ocean state of Rhode Island. This was a health reporter, Christian Goulet. And I'm going to be concrete here. I'm not going to be abstract, tell you something. I am not false, but I want to validate my argument. And I know that apprehension has been there. Oh, Mr. So, he's this person, he's that person. And I know how people freak out when you say something that does not suit their political taste. They get a little jittery and they get sort of nervous and begin to align you and say you are this person. But when you say it today, you are Mr. Fair. And this is why I see all of these folks, guys, folks that claims to be advocate. We are seeing how they began to somersault 360 degrees. They were on this side yesterday, they are on this side today, and they want to hold other people accountable. When you are unbalanced, when you are inconsistent, when you are not stable, you create an apprehension. They do not see the authenticity in you of your argument, even if you are saying it the right way. So I vow, no one going to talk for me in this Liberian process, and I intend not to take a position based on these expertise, the advice of these prominent journalists. Now they are Liberians, they are Americans. When I decided to allow and had a sort of workshop and a show, do you really want LPR to murder the start of the National Public Radio? There is a reason. And one of them, the told me, one of them happens to be the directors and a health correspondent who I got to know, and I make it by all possible to visit the NPR. That was in 2014 right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island. Our privilege to have that interview. They say you have to decide, especially, and it made it crystal clear, there is no media institution that would say it somehow, some way, members that have, to say that they do not have ties with any political parties or institutions or some sort of political ideology. Why you should be careful with, especially when it comes to public service, like in the instance of NPR and LPR, you as the head, you have to get your record straight. You have to come clean. You do not want to take side, because then that does not reflect the actual image of the network as you envisage it to be. However, your analysts, your contributors, make sure when it comes, let them establish their own identity. Do not make your viewers or your followers to have apprehensions about those people are going to be talking, because people are going to sense out what they are talking. And I try as much as possible to hold up to that. So I'm not going to make any endorsements. I'm going to have an opinions and the views of the Liberian political process, because the integrity of this network must be kept before and after the election. However, individuals who are coming here to be a contributors or analysts, it is at their own volition. If you want to be an independent person, say it, but we must, and I will make sure that they establish their identity for the credibility of these institutions. So far, so good, that is holding. We're going to be getting down to the issue. Endorsement. Alexander Benedict Cummings, pretty well the endorsement is still going. But 2 years ago, I was privileged. I wish I had the opportunity, despite all of the outreach, to talk to ANC Alexander Benedict Cummings. Only once, 2 years ago. We're going to recap to see what happens, what was then, and now. And we're going to talk about the other issues right after that. And I will share my own experience and the deal. What happens unfolded at the Fort Worth Federal Court regarding the former CEO of the Spoon Network, Mr. Stanton Waterspoon. But let's do a little bit backdraft, flashback of ANC CPP political leader. Is he a former now or still a political leader? Alexander Benedict Cummings 2 years ago, right here on the Liberia Public Radios. Let's watch and see.
In some ways, we try to punish ambition, and it's because too often we've been disappointed, we've been lied to, extenuating factors come into. So Liberia will have an ambition to do X. That will be the plan A. And even before they even start really working on it, they're already working on plan B. They're already assuming, oh, something will happen, something will go wrong. And then they start working on plan B and they end up with plan B or even less. I want to change that paradigm. I want to change the environment so that we can focus on our plan A. And my life experience is when you focus on your plan A and you focus on it, 9 out of 10 times you achieve it. Yes, there's always a possibility it doesn't work. But once you start focusing on that possibility it doesn't work, that's kind of where you end up, right? As opposed to saying, what are the barriers to stopping me from, my plan A, and let me focus on that. And so the desire is to serve all of our people, to impact the lives of all Liberians. And so I've decided, look, let me focus on that. The Senate is an honorable body. It does need some change and some work. But be one out of 30 people, I don't think I will have the kind of impact I would like to have. And that's why I decided to aspire to serve our people. And I use the word serve deliberately because I think it's a servant leadership role. That's why I say I don't want people to come want to play big shot. It's not about playing big shot. It's coming to work to change the lives of our people.
It is not my wish to, so you can succeed, but you have put the cap on the head on so many issues now. Would that be your end of your political career?
Yes. If I'm not successful this time, as I said, I will be disappointed, but life will go on and we'll focus in these other areas to help our country and our people. But it's important that I leave you with this message. We will be successful. I am very confident. So I'm not thinking about that plan B. I'm spending no time, Alfonso, on that plan B.
Nobody even want to wish for that. Everybody wants to wish for plan A. That's the
yeah. I am really down my plan A to make the case to our people, to ask them to look at my record, to remind them I'm one of them. Through hard work, blessings, providence plays a part in these things, right? We are where we are, and we want to help. We want to give back. And that's my focus. And as I said, the work will even increase in terms of my travel around the country, meeting people, touching people, they touching me, so we can make the case to our people. Because, Alfonso, this election that's coming up, Liberians have 3 choices, I think. One choice, and these are not individuals per se, although you could attach anything. One choice is Liberians can vote for the past. All Liberians can vote for the present. All Liberians can vote for the future. And I think Liberians will vote for the future. The other choices Liberians have, right? The Liberians have a choice because in Liberians' mind now, there's 2 political institutions. No disrespect to any others. In most Liberians' minds, there's the CDC and then the CPP. Those are the 2 choices political institutions. And then the other choice kind of tied to the first 3 I was talking about is those who want more the same, status quo, or going back to the past, and also want to look at the future and do things differently. Because I know you've heard my saying, we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. That's a saying is not, I didn't say that. I think it was with the scientist, I forget his name now. But you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect different results. And I know Liberians, that is resonating because I hear repeated all the time. Liberians want a future that is different, that they will be the primary beneficiaries of the benefits and the resources of our country.
Okay.
Albert Einstein, it was an Albert Einstein quote.
Okay. I'm not a mean guy here, but it's part of our responsibility to speak to this issue and have this sort of authentic and genuine conversation. So
absolutely.
The document in my hand here, I want to digress here, is the what it calls the collaborative framework document here. It is what in my hand. So I'm going to add another column or quote on that. So another choice now, you get a battle before you within your own CPP collaboration, because that's where you have to come first. Then you're going to take on the bigger one here. So speak to the CPP here. As far as I'm concerned, anything can change, but your main challenger now is the former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia from the Unity party. What sort of line of demarcation that we can draw to for the Liberian to understand? Because these decision makings for national leaders, they must start from bottom to top approach, not top to bottom approach. So what makes you so equipped, so firm, so strong, decisive decision making than that of the vice president, of the former vice president? Because there is also an argument on this side of experience and this and that. How can you square those out?
So, you know, I'm one that focuses on what I call positive advocacy, advocating positively for myself. And I will let you in the media, Liberians, you can draw the contrast in terms of the choice before us. But I want to focus on what I bring to this challenge that Liberians in our country face. And I ask Liberians to consider the following. Again, in no particular order, but you should consider all of these things. One is, there's another thing I like to say, that the best predictor of future behavior, future performance is past behavior, past performance. So I ask the Liberian people to look at my past performance, my past behavior around integrity, around managing a large, complex organization. Alfonso, many Liberians, when they think about Coca-Cola, they think about the plant, the factory in Pinsville. I ran all of Africa for that big multinational company.
That's
what they call the market value on the New York Stock Exchange. You live in the US, of Coca-Cola is about $240 billion United States dollars. And a Liberian from Point Four was the number 2 executive in that institution globally. So in addition to running Africa, we had global responsibilities that touched on over 1,000 plants, over 700,000 system employees, large complex organization, did it well, did it successfully. And so the results are there, and did it with integrity, right? Then you got to look at what are the pressing needs facing Liberia, and it's the economy. And who understands the economy? Who understands the private sector? Because the government is an enabler. It's the private sector that will drive the growth. Liberian private sector, Liberian businesses. Who understands that? Who lives it? Who understands the psychology?
Holding politicians in their own words, holding them accountable. We put them on record here, and we have the power to delete or keep those recording here in order to see where they are coming from and where they are going. That was Alexander Benedict Cummings 2 years ago. I don't think that was his wish, in as much we're pushing the lines here. Hi, there's something in the system here somehow, but just bear with me. But the liberal progressive is here. Some saying Blocko Brown Toe is here. That's a liberal progressive. He's based in Saxton, Sacramento. We don't see eye to eye when it comes to having this sort of national conversation because of his so-called extreme liberal view. But it's not personal. We just have 5 different political ideologies, how he addresses things, how he sees things, and his interpretation to national issue. It's been squared down to 2%. His guy, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka. This is not what Cummings was wishing for. We're going to play this we'll play that script, and we have a conversation. And of course, as usual, we're going to open the line and my own experience at Fort Lauderdale trial court. That's a federal court. Let me bring in a liberal progressive here, Samson Blocko Brown Todd of the Liberal Public Radio. He's based in Saxton, Sacramento. In the Omega Vola. Where one again?
Good evening, Mr. So. Thank you for having us.
Just if you can just give me a little bit of adjustment on that volume, it'll be okay. No. Every time they open sporting. Okay, yeah, it's good you take yourself from there because every time you come here, you want to sport things. Okay, good evening, folks. We want to welcome all of you. I mean, people are at liberty to express their view, their opinions about us. We say things about other people, so people have the right to say it. But there's no reason for me to. The Liberian politics is not like the Westerner politics. You either for or you against. Because if you stay behind the cloud, that's just how you will be remain in the cloud. So who really wants to remain in darkness? I don't. I'm not going to be like one of those who say they would not want to work in government and they are advocating for you. That's just deceit and hypocrisy. All of you talking, some of them vowed not to do things. Where are they today? What are they saying today? What was then and now? Because they're not a smart politician. And get ready, you're going to see more of this coming. As a seasoned politician, you always leave the windows, you always leave it some sort of open so that you can take a tactical positions or take a political position, what we call political correctness. But if you do not do it, and you think that you're going to say you do stuff and people are just going to forget about it, no, they're not going to forget. Just bear with me here. They're not going to forget. They're going to bring it. They're going to bring it to your face. We will say it. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So they deceive and betray people who trusted, who confide in them, who supported their political quest because of those things that they took, because of those values that they strongly believes in. But guess what? They are beginning to restructure their language. And now we're seeing, because the ordinary folks who they are, they're celebrating them when it falls on their dining table. And those who, when it goes on the floor, they strike them all. Let's see, the Liberia is here. Mr. Terry Collins. Collins is also a political commentator of the Liberia Public Radio. He based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you so much, Terry, for your great job. If you're good in shape, just give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to usher you guys in. The Liberia is here. There you go. These are people. I'm not like the Liberia who, when he ready, he sanctioned people that people shouldn't come. He has managed to train and indoctrinate Terry into his war of liberalism, but I will still be with them. Gentlemen, good evening. So welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So.
I want to immediately.
Oh, Liberal, what are you doing? Your set is not correct.
Just that every day when he comes on my program, then that's where we're not here, then he only tabata. Okay, Liberal, make an adjustment. You can come back. Terry, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. So. How are you, sir?
Good to be back here. And I thank you for all your commitment to this network. I'm not sure you are listening to comments, but let's talk a little bit. News is all news because there are things that happen in the community and we have to talk about it. People can also talk about ours. So when it happens, we can't just sweep things under the rug and say, oh, no, this is not important. But let's have a conversation here. I was in Fort Lauderdale yesterday. As a matter of fact, I left Wednesday, the same Wednesday. I boarded because I wanted to just be in time of this hearing because it's important, and there are a variety of reasons that have gone there. Did you follow the story of what we're reporting from Florida regarding the former CEO, Mr. Stanton Witherspoon?
Yeah, sure. I follow you, and I really admire the way you handle it professionally. As always. Anyway.
What you make there are a lot of conversations in the quarters.
Well, yes, and we thank God that you guys were able to go there and do it. But there have been accusations, and people have been apprehensive that he was going to go to jail for 20 years. Some people say 40 years. Some people claim he was going to rot in jail. But unfortunately, that things turn around because, I want to believe that I always tell people, I say America is like a corporation. All right. So once there are monies that have been paid and all of that. Like something you said that really got to me, that there was some level of argument in the court and there was an accusation raised. And I think the prosecuting lawyer said that, you know, this guy was like cutting checks, but then his lawyer said the opposite, that no, that was not his responsibility. So apparently there was somebody who was responsible to carry on, to actually be in the forefront of the fraud. So probably Stanton Waterspoon was not in the forefront of the fraud. He was probably the guy that was just registering people. He could lobby for the people and register them. Is that what I was getting from you? He would lobby the people and register them to that deception or so.
So,
And
mhm.
yeah, so it was like he would lobby for the people and register them or something like that. I think that was what I was trying to understand, because you said that his lawyer said he was not, you know, the one that was doing it, but then he came out and confessed that, you know, he agreed to all the charges that were raised up against him, and you know, he
So,
feel very bad that he did what he did.
yeah. So there are a couple of things here. Mr. Slangart, good evening. I did reach out. I'm not sure what I said properly, but our prayers and thoughts. I was told that your brother passed. I tried calling, but your phone was off. But I was still trying to reach out. We just caught in too much of activities here. So there are a couple of things, Terry, for which this network, we decided to reach out there. We do not have to be selective in news. We do not have to wish bad things to happen. We do not have to wish good things to happen. News is news. And what
Right.
makes news valuable is to have it reported fair, balanced, and make it proportionate. And say it as it is. You don't add, you don't subtract, you don't exaggerate. And this is why when you're reporting news, if you want it to be authentic news, at least you must have 3 sources or plus that you should be quoting. From the onset of this year, and I said this on this network here before this whole thing got busted and came in, one of our regular follower on this network, we, maybe I would, I mean, not say we, because who knows, the other people, but as far as my concern, over 2 years ago, I was hinted, I got a call regarding the alleged, at the time, alleged accusation by Mr. Waterspoon. But what I refused to do, because when I talked to this person, because defamation, being a media institution, it doesn't mean you are not liable to lawsuit. There is also, there are do's and don'ts. You must have that statute of limitation in terms of when you are talking or reporting something. If I want to say something about Terry here, not because I don't like Terry, or I want the worst to happen out of Terry, somebody call, oh, Terry XYZ, and I just run with it.
Right.
She called, she's one of our followers. She's still in New Jersey. She's regular listener here. I connected another friend here and the call and the reporter, because she was one of the person that this whole, was a victim of this whole nursing incident. And I talked to her and I asked her, do you have anything authentic? If you want me to have this conversation, I won't mind having this conversation, but I need to have something handed so as to have this conversation. I will not lie. And I say, yeah, I understand. I can come on. You want to come on, but you don't want to show your face. So how can I make that sort of case? I don't want to be told you should have known better. So think about it. If you want us to have this conversation, you need to send me something, because this is something that has to do with somebody's character. And I'm not just going to say something because I want to appease or want to get some sort of side attraction. Trust me, we're on that thing for almost week plus. We were not willing to say anything. And as a matter of fact, knowing what we know now, it came to pass. But the main point here is that's something we got to be very careful. Not me as an individual, but as an institution. You don't just get it and report something. And I was privileged. Yeah, a lot of people have hung around who also talk to us besides this guy thing here. If you want to do it, you got to do it right. Amos George is here. Let me just bring in.
So, Mr. So, I wanted to ask a question to you on that same thing.
Mhm.
I'm hearing the people saying that it was not 4 years or it was not 3.5 years that was given to him. People saying the sentence is not yet until the 31st, but when you reported, you said that he had been sentenced to, I know,
So
3.5 years. So is there any
yeah, and because
misconception that,
people refused the legendary Amos George. Good evening and welcome.
How you doing, Terry?
Yeah.
yeah,
And
man,
this is
How are
the
you?
problem. We Liberians, we wish to the extent, and I kind of like in our own world have an
Right.
interpretation. Even when the law is there, we turn it upside down to suit our argument, to suit our taste. The last the last appearance was in September, which because these things it isn't something that can just happen automatically. He was told, but strictly to your point, yesterday he was sentenced. He was
Okay.
sentenced. Now it is within the court purview that they can either sentence, and you know this country the laws are various, and all of these things is also a workout between the prosecutor and the defense counsel. Nothing is in isolation. People don't know, but I knew very well when I entered our courtroom. I knew very well that Mr. Witherspoon was not going to be he was not going to be taken away. There are indicators. If we had the opportunity to witness this sort of trial or any trial, one, the first person that took the stand was one of the co-conspirator, Rene, the other Haitian guy, Rene. He was the first person. But what was interesting and bizarre in it, I mean, it's a federal, they could not allow us to do any picture. You cannot carry any electronic, even though we're accredited, but they have their own reason. But what was very interesting and bizarre in this whole thing here, Rene, the conspirator, lawyer was going after Stanton, Mr. Witherspoon, so much. Everything, all of the kitchen saying the red meat, I just could not believe it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's her profession, but that's another way they defend their clients. But that aspect was, I was wondering, I said, why is it going like this? And that Rene was just was an ordinary, I think that's what you're talking about. Rene was just an ordinary person who was hired, according to the lawyer of Rene. Rene was hired, was being paid. He doesn't know what was going on. He has no anything. He's just an ordinary person, like I employ you or you're providing services here, and you just have no idea. So everything that was just throwing, his wife was there, his son went there, took the stand. You know, they always tell you, you bring people. But I can tell you, Stanton's lawyer, that lady is smart. And I think she learned something from in the interim. Because after that, Rene's wife went into, you always give the sort of testimony, to get compassion or, some sort of appeal. Right. But the prosecutor from the side of the government, the old man, he was so tough. And that was a valid question you were asking, because Rene's wife is a nice. And so when she was making the argument, her husband is nice, is good, he worked in the healthy, he have not gotten in any trouble, which of course the court verified, he has not been in trouble with the state, no criminal record. Okay. So the prosecutor, the government prosecutor, the question was, now you say you were nice. How many months or years you took to get your how comfortable are you, somebody who did not get his or her paper to get it overnight by spending money and putting other people at risk? Do you feel comfortable? That was really bone in the throat questions that guy posed, and he was pushing her. And I believe Stanton's lawyer took a cue from that, but not aligned. I know the family members, about 11%, and that was a very good strategy. About at 11 or 10, the Fadiga brother was there, his wife was there. I entered precisely at 9:05 because the final hearing was 9:30. Met him, I shook him, Mr. Witherspoon, how you doing? I met Fadiga, we all talked about pastors. I mean, he carried a lot of people. And I think that was part of it, to see his other side of the story. And something extraordinary I learned that we talk about here on this network also play out in the courtroom, and which people didn't know. So after that, he did order the Renee lawyer, they ordered that thing. Liberia, are you okay now? Okay, let me just bring him. We're going to be having, yeah, so we're just going to brush it out, yeah. But it's good that we have this sort of conversation. So when I introduce myself, the lawyer say, I am not going to talk to NM Press. My client is not going to talk to NM Press, and nobody going to speak to NM Press, because anything you say within that interim, it could be held against you. So that was a strategic and calculated move by that lawyer, Erica of Mr. Waterspoon. So we all just sat there and waiting for the time. But I can see it could be anybody. I could find myself in that position, because at that point in time, it's like life and death. The stenton that I know, Samson told, do not interrupt our program here this evening. This Liberia here. No. Program, you're not working with us. Yeah. They told time, man, for the trouble. So, but bottom line, the stenton that I know, when how as energy, that sort of energy that can be in him, that was not the case. You could see, you could see the brother, because maybe he doesn't know what was going to happen. It was a tough situation, but I think his friends, the family that show out there sort of gave light. And the lawyer said, can you?
But so you said, I think I heard you saying that the lawyer of this other guy, I know the Reneg or who, was very tough on Stenton, right?
Yeah.
Could it be that they were kind of skeptical that Stenton has some kind of way of, pumping in more money to recuse himself? Because sometimes I believe you can compromise with the judge.
I know where you're going. First of all, what they were going for there, it was clear cut that they were going to sentence them. But the arguments of both party defense team were, this guy, Renee, was sentenced for 18 months. All right? He was sentenced for 18 months. But the lawyer for Renee was still pleading that because Renee, was just a higher person, but he was claiming that it is Stenton is the owner of Sana and hire Renee. And so Renee was just an ordinary staffer who has nothing to do with who coming in, but another person. It's just like you're working for a company. The company hire you, you go to work more and you get your pay, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that was her own argument. That was her own argument. That was she was claiming. That was a situation Renee found himself in. So Renee should not be bearing that sort of weight, according to her. That was her argument. So he should be home. He should not get that sort of time and all of that. But it was not actually between they and Stenton. So all she was doing was making an argument for her on a client. So Stenton's lawyer cannot come in to question her and say, oh, no, that's not true. That's not how it works. So you tell your own, it is the presiding judge, George Rodney Smith, is the one was the decision maker. But fast forward, after they left, Stenton was the second person. Lawyer took the stand, and the lady she made a forceful argument of the lawyer.
Am I audible now?
You're good now.
Much better.
Okay.
At least
I don't know why you touch again.
No.
Papa can't say that.
But I will force it.
Okay now.
No. You're not going to spoil our conversation here. You're not going to force anything here. That's how you do.
One question that I will excuse myself. Let me.
You what?
I have one question for you. Then I will excuse myself. And the question.
But you're okay now.
What really prompted you to even go to Florida? What was it?
But why you were here last night doing all that about that? Why you don't get there last night? So last night.
I think that's a legitimate question.
Why you only stay yesterday night, blasting everybody that like people are not they are bad, Central friends and they ban him. Why you are talking that?
No, let me answer my question.
No, I just asked him before you answer that question. If you answer that question, he will answer your question.
But are you the one controlling the men now? You see
No,
why?
I'm just asking you. I'm a panelist. If you raise an issue,
Hey, Terry, I tell you, I said, when I praise them, when you pray them, they will join together. Yeah.
no, because he went there because he wanted to get
Why
first-hand
you asking
information.
this question? Why
But
you
you did not go there.
why
You were
you
here
answering
camping
for him?
the man yesterday.
Terry, yeah, I told you yesterday. I said, what I see you doing, don't take it too far. Yeah, I told you that. Eh? Why, Mr. So?
So, yeah, it's a good question. Pat Joy, don't mind the liberal. The liberal is always, he always like size or side of.
It's a good question, but I just asking. I'm asking a legitimate question.
So, look, some saying, and that's a good question, and other people ask those questions too. But I think we in the media industry, we have a responsibility. We cannot limit ourselves. And from this, because let's be honest, it's a high-profile case. We know who Mr. Waterspoon. He built a huge media empire, and not just only him. And so when that thing started, I think I told you in the past, George, we decided to reach out to the Southern District Court. And it took them time to grant us that permission as well. Why we wanted to, because according to them, it was the very first time, all alone for media outlet, Liberian-based media group, to appear. The first one, Miami, the second one, I couldn't go there because I was in. And there was a conversation here, unbelievable. They asked us to send our registration, both state and the federal, and those things were submitted, the data were checking before they even allow us. But what I told them was that, hey, in as much it is, the narrative there would not be lengthy in terms of conversation with this brother here. And I want to put the American judicial system to test. I want to see how it works. I am not saying it's not working, but I want to be able to have a full asset to the case so I'll be able to make that narrative to our Liberian-based audience, because you people just going to give a summary of that 30 seconds and that's it. And all you're going to be, this person have done this person have done this, it's a person of color. But I want to be able to get a full idea how it works, and I'll be able to explain it, not to add, not to subtract. Because we found it. And two, he's in the media industry. So we want to give the fair opportunity to. We don't want anything being magnified. And that was one of the reasons. And I think they saw the need that we should go there.
Myself, one last question that I will excuse me because my sister is really bad tonight. I don't want to spoil your show. Yeah, we're going in. Okay, I don't want to spoil your show. You were in the court yesterday.
Oh no.
We heard you describing his interaction. We saw you describing his interaction.
I'm not hearing what you're saying. Your sister in there is that what happened?
You got some of the button, you got to cut it off, everything come back. You test that some echo is out there. Some
LPR. So, can you hear me now?
What you say?
When you saw his demeanor, his reaction, and the way he explained to the people that he had brought shame to his family and the people who believe in him, does he look credible? Was he very contrite? Was he remorseful?
To be honest, yes, and I think that's one of the aspects. Usually, lawyer they're going to tell their client, and I think he knows very well what he did was wrong. And his argument, even before taking the stand, when I appeared, I shook his hand. He looked in my face. I looked in his face. That was my first time meeting, but I introduced myself, and I think something clicked. Oh, the father guys said, "Oh, that Mr. So LPR." So I assume, I could be wrong, something kicked out, or maybe this is going to go this way, that way. And then when the lawyer said, we are not going to speak, my client or me, we're not going to grant any interview. But you can see when somebody is not I know him to be an active person first and foremost, but I think the situation he found himself in at that time requires some sort of being remorseful of the situation. You have to put yourself in the position that even the judges or the lawyers, assuming the jury were there, you have to recognize what you did was wrong. And I think that's exactly what happens when he took the stand. So I could be wrong by just visual expression, but I can tell you. So when the judge, the lawyer recognized, I said, oh, let's walk, because he could see I stressed out. He said, let's walk out there. Do not stress yourselves. Let's go walk out there. In the next 10, 15 minutes, we'll come and then we can go in. That is to kind of like organize and Fadiga talking, the walk out, and they have a sort of conversation. So I decided not to go further. I even wanted to see if we could get a picture. But like I said, my reason of going there was to also make the argument that just in case anybody coming out with any information, that was the reason I was giving full disclosure, descriptions of what he was wearing. He was beautifully dressed, navy blue suit, well-dressed suit, white dress shirt, brown shoe. If you listen to that video, his wife was there. I didn't know her, but they were sitting together and, holding her hand. The lawyer was right there. They were on a bench. I was on the other left side, at the end of the bench before we walked into the courtroom. So I kind of like knew that was the wife because, she was there to provide a sort of support. So I make that good guess. And then when we went in the court, when she was introduced, then I said, yes, that's her. But when the lawyer said, I think I decided not to go forward, to ask anybody on the Fadigas, we just talk casually. But to the point.
Let me just say this and then I can go because I can't hold this thing any longer.
You need to go now. You need to go. You're disturbing us. I don't have time for that.
So let me just note a very serious note. What you did yesterday is something that really touched my heart. We're here. This is a platform that will come in to talk to people. For you
something we're not hearing you.
Yes, I know. For you to take upon yourself to go all the way to Florida from Rhode Island, I think that was very.
All of that. So let me tell you the reason. It's not for you to take upon. That's why you and I are quick to make flour. It's not a matter of taking upon yourself. I say I hang around people. I've been doing this thing. Let me just tell you a reason. I said it, but you were saying here.
So let me finish my statement. You can come back and say whatever you want to say. They'll show you running it the way you want to run it. But let me just say this. I'm very proud of you. I'm upset with you right now, you and Mr. George, but I will still say I'm very proud of you on a very serious note. And the way you carry yourself, the way you carry this network, it really demonstrates that any of us that will try to follow this network, we're here as a network for the people. And I really appreciate what you did yesterday. Because of you, I believe I've been perusing the entire social network, specifically Facebook. I've not seen anything, I was at a court and he looked like this, because people knew that you were there and people knew you were reporting. And so if anybody come up with any kinds of mistake or anything that is not true, people will research your video and they will point it out. And so you were there yesterday to help Liberians to understand. Thank you very much. But Terry, like I told you yesterday, we shouldn't praise him too much. You heard right now the kinds of way Mr. George is behaving. And my team is giving me a hard time.
Something too. Bye.
Good night, folks. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, unplug everything. Unplug everything.
That what happened when he decided to go his way, independent way, and he can't do it by himself. My man, you're spoiling our program. We need to talk. Bye-bye. Why you can't dress in your blue and white, black and yellow, blue jersey?
That press. The same way you were pressed yesterday. Marcel, pressed.
The man waiting for the inauguration.
The 2017 inauguration pass. Hey, you still hanging on yourself?
The man is waiting for the inauguration 2024.
Oh, you gotta get a new pass.
The Liberia is waiting for it.
Yeah, all right, Liberia. I don't know what happened to the system, but yeah. So it was.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask. I wanted to rephrase that question, Mr. to ask you in this way by saying that his level of remorse, did it reach to the point where he was sharing tears? Do you see some level of conviction?
Mrs. Stanton shed tears before the that I can say.
Yeah.
He did. And that's part of it. You're out in those sort of extreme cases. So it was a surprise. But what I know that he wasn't going to be taken away. I know he was going to be sentenced, but I know that he was not going to be locked up. There are a couple of indicators. If you had the opportunity to watch this thing here, Rene, who was a co-conspirator, was there after the case. He went out. If you go to court, and they are about because they know that they're going to sentence them, but if you see sheriff, when you see 2 or 3, 4 sheriffs entering while in the process of sentence you, in most cases, states are different. When you see them standing at the back because they will not come, they get away, they get an other door where they can usually pass them. When you see those sheriffs are posted, that is that is a red flag.
Wow.
That is a red flag. And for the most part, they got to tell their lawyer. They don't just carry you and surprise you, say, oh, they sentence you, they carry you. All of these deals can be caught. It can be caught, but people just didn't know. He was just going there to tell him officially, this is what happened. He knew the date that they were going to sentence him. But I'm quite sure because what they were doing, it was giving people the opportunity to make a fair nut argument. At that time, it was at the discretion of the judge that, okay, we're going to call it down to this level, accept your or deny the motion. In this case, I strongly want to believe he knew the time they were going to be giving, but at the same time, they were giving the lawyer the opportunity to cut, and that's what she was pleading for. She was asking to cut down the term. They wanted 18, or they gave the other guy, but that motion was denied. But the fact of the matter that we're in that place, and then I didn't see no sheriff entering. About 10 persons, about I think four female. There's a pastor. People came from, and that was one of the things that he did. 10 persons as compared to Rene wife, the son, were about 10 persons, including he himself, Stanton, and his lawyer, so more or less about 12. I think part of that was to kind of like rally sort of support. And I think the lawyer really made the argument, but Stanton consulted. And he used the word, Your Honor, I messed up. In his own words, I messed up. That was his way of saying, yes, I did wrong, but I can still recover. You remember we're talking on this thing here, I say, I'm concerned why this guy is still on the network. And I believe that was part of the advice from the lawyer, because that was one thing she projected. There were 3 characteristics she gave regarding Stanton. He's a humanitarian, he's an advocate, and he's someone that is caring. And part of that, he says, Stanton runs a major network. His base is in Liberia. He's a strong advocate of democracy, of bad governance. Now, it's to the disadvantage to the GOL, because it was not about the government of the Republic of Liberia, but the idea to America, a country, a free land that promotes democracy. If I come here and say Terry is a strong advocate of democracy, freedom of speech, they will value what I do. And she says, Stanton have over 300 some more thousand. And I trust those people have document. I mean, follow it, the spoon. She even verify. She even made the reference the spoon talk. And then God can bless somebody. I think that was another turning point there. And she went far as saying there was a child, I believe they did a fundraiser before. There was a boy, I think little boy or girl that needed some sort of surgery. And on this program, he usually raised money, which of course, in most of the time, that can happen. And this child was able to get a medical equipment. And then she says something that captured people's attention. She said, yes, he was a referee. He came here. He went through a lot with other people from war-torn country. You know the history of Liberia, and I know the history of Liberia. He was a child. He came here 2016. He became citizen. But Stanton did not forget his root. He went back to his country. So what she was doing there was making an argument, a appealing argument, in as much it was a bad decision on his part. There is other good version of him.
That's the character.
And that was the thing. He says Stanton went back in the middle of the COVID, and he was able to give relief to orphanage. to people, to needed people, the unprivileged, and all of that, and for which the people. Apparently, it looked like not look like. They asked them, they can ask people to do letter, get different
That's character witness.
character.
Yeah.
So she was saying, the community relies on things that he's doing. So they asked for 3. And then the letter said, Your Honor, I have submitted about what? 30. They asked for 3. So she added another 30. Voice messages, text messages, letter coming from America, from Liberia, from Europe, from Asia, according to her. I mean, she said in public, you asked for 3. But even if you want 100, I mean, you got to be there for your for your client. If you want 100, I can send those 100. Even, Your Honor, as we walk in the court, people were still calling. People were still asking. George, people are still sending. People are still sending messages. They want to know what's going on with Stanton. So she kind of put them on edge. She talked about 15 to 60 minutes making the case, pleading for her client for reduction and all of that. And also alluded to the fact that, yes, he screwed up, but he still can be a better person. And then after she did all her closing argument, the judge asked, Mr. Witherspoon, do you want to speak to the court? And he said yes. And that was the fascinating aspect. For 6 to 7 minutes, he took the stand. And he was not defiant. That was one of the good things. He was not defiant. He didn't dispute. He didn't give no excuse. In fact, that's the very first thing he said, Your Honor, it is inexcusable. I broke the law. And this is something I'm going to live with the rest of my life. And that's where little emotions, I mean, we all are human beings. I have 4 kids. My wife, I'm going to be away with them. I believe his mother or wife mother, who is now well, I'm going to be away with them. But this is something that I'm going to deal with the rest of my life. And then he broke down into tears. At that point in time, I know it was real. And then when he used the word, I messed up. I brought disgrace to my wife. I brought disgrace to my country. And not just only Liberia, USA, and people that follow him. So he was injecting the human side of him in as much as he did wrong. He was also telling the court that there can be a second chance. But so like I said, I didn't see no Sherry. So at that point in time when Renee left, he was making his closing argument. But I think the lawyer learned something from that. So what she did was, she's a smart lady, young lady, she's very smart. So she read the list of the people that came in that accompanied Mr. Witherspoon, the 40 guys. And what she uses three different word phrases of this individual on their behalf, because if she had allowed them to go before there, because you're going to be taking an oath, you are going to be given the government side, the lawyer or the prosecutor on the other side, to cross-examine you, to ask you a question with the case, what happens to Renee? And we saw what happened that it was not a good thing, because the lady, yeah, because that question, anybody, you say you went to school for this, are you happy other people didn't go to school to get a diploma? They say, oh no, I went and started. You say, yeah, I know myself, before getting my college degree, I started something, but I am asking you, other people didn't go and they went the board years. Is that something you comfortable, you as a nurse? So there was a quick lesson learned from there. So what did they? No, they were not going to speak. They say, Your Honor, you see these people here? It is because of their support. That's part of Mr. Witherspoon, what he did. They still believe in him. They trust him. They rely on him to provide. But the fact here too is he was indicted, not just only indicted, he was convicted. But you know, America is a country that gave second chances. But the fact of the matter that he, Mr. Witherspoon himself, alluded and agreed and accepted that he broke the law, That was his own homicide.
Yeah, but Mr. So the thing here is, if you go into a pre-bargaining, you have to admit, because if you admit, you can. If you don't admit, you can't go into a
And what caught the get a term of a PCI and some sort of a legal term, I believe they were told. And then the lawyer said, Your Honor, despite that, she lived for this brown, as I said, look, a brown envelope, $3.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what make restitution.
No, the term used was not like a restitution. The guy some kind of some kind of word. In fact, there's a special account. He said there's 3.5 million, and the George Smith, he said, "What is that, a Liberian dollar?" And so then the lady said, "No, it's U.S. dollar, Bank of America check." She didn't say whether it was a manager check or a personal check. Just a Bank of America check, U.S. dollar. I did not deposit it because I wanted to bring it here to the court. But this is what it is here. And the judge said,
that's a restitution. That's the money, because when the Fed were investigating.
No, what I'm saying, the reason I don't want to use restitution, that was not a word that was used.
Yeah, okay, but anyway, but
I put it down somewhere.
Yeah.
But, and then the judge here, he said, what? In my career as a judge, this is my first time seeing this happening. So right there, that seems to be like, okay, with all this thing here, this guy is willing to make some sacrifices, you know, to bring that. At the end of the day, Uncle Sam want money.
Right.
Yeah, but Mr. Afro, that had to be a reason between this lawyer and the prosecution. Because the prosecution will say, you have to get all your assets. The assets that you got.
And that's what happened. So
the assets that you earn from, since you took over that business, the prosecution will start from that asset area. They will look at what you acquire.
There are a couple of things still hanging, even though they were not made mentioned, but there are a couple of things still hanging. I don't know what it will happen. But I mean, right there, I think the judge was, I believe he was impressed. You're like, okay, this is place so play you can deposit. But again, I do not want that check to be bound because there are people who bring check here. He's a funny guy too. I don't want that check to bounce because there are people who support check here. The check will bounce and then it becomes another, because that would be another violation. Then she said no. And after that, Stanton, you know, as you usually, God will bless you, you know, say those sort of nice words. And he said, and then he took his seat. But yeah, he took a seat. But one thing then they gave her 90 days. He needs to fully cooperate with the prosecutor.
Yes.
We have a full disclosure. Now, that full disclosure now, that way it becomes consequential of assets, financials, and all of that. Are they making reference to here in Liberia? And that full disclosure, because they have all of the information, and they're going to be looking at where he get his riches from what time to what at this point in time. So I think that is the breach over troubled water. Now, what happened yesterday is with Florida. Will there be other investigation that want to kick in? We do not know yet. Like, for example, the Delaware, the Texas, and other places.
Yeah, the Delaware, and there will be
those are things. So he was sentenced, and the judge, they denied the motions of the lawyer were asking for 18 months. He said no, so he was sentenced. And they asked him to report to federal prison. They did not announce which federal prison that he's going to be going to. We don't know whether it's Florida. Federal prison, it is discretionary with the judge. You can come from Rhode Island, they send you to Alabama. They can send you to Minnesota. They can send you to Iowa. Federal prison is just federal prison. So he was just told that, okay, you can go. They asked whether monitor. He said no. From everything, he's been cooperating. And they believe he's going to cooperate. So because they have a probation officer at the court too, that work with those people. So when the probation officer asked the judge whether they need some sort of monitoring device, he said no. At this point in time, there is no anything to suggest that he needs something of monitoring. But he should report Wednesday the 31st at noon. Whatever prison that you're going to be reporting, So this speaks to the point, and who knows the 41 months, which is what 3 year and 3 year 5 months or whatever. It depends how you do it too.
But the question I want to ask you,
George, what?
The question I want to ask you, the sentence that first, did it say if you serve good term on probation or what? I mean, you could be released on parole of good character or something, or it just strictly 3 year 5 months. Which one?
That's what I'm saying. Your conduct, they always sentence you. When they sentence you, they say you're going for 4 years, you go 4 years. But your behavior in that, they can use
but sometimes they were fair, or sometimes the judge was fair, or behavior, or this time on parole. So that's why I'm asking you.
It is, because when they spell it out, they mean you're going to be good for a certain period of time, and then you can get out and be bad. So they will tell you, say, to cooperate, and based on what you do, and that's why the lawyer will still be there. So I believe the lawyer want to be the one to guide him. But the idea of making those sort of concessions, taking that kind of money, 3.5 million, man, that's not small money. What I'm saying, that's another level of cooperating. So when he goes there to serve his term, the 3 years, if you stay 2 years and become good and do what you're supposed to do, you're not breaking the law, you're not doing anything. You know, there are people who still enjoy it and they cause to do stuff. But what is contingent is the 90 days, the cooperation of making full disclosure. I think that's where going to be the key, because that's what he stresses on. You got to make full disclosure of your asset, and that's what I think. That's the thing, because if you don't do that, you give half and you think you're going to leave something, and then they find out. Then I think that's where the problem will come from. But
but normally that's how the bargaining go, because the prosecution will still go, because all these things were not done in isolation. That money being given to prosecution, that's something the lawyer negotiate with the prosecution.
But what I'm saying, they will not make it, because they know it's a bad precedent. They know media and other people will go there. Okay, go to jail. When you go to jail, when you go 2, 3 years, that one day is an inside work. They will not come and make that pronouncement. But what is interesting is we all saw this thing here went viral. But interestingly, not single local media institution,
right,
they were in that place. So
none of them went there.
No single media institution from the western side, whether local, state, or something. So I was like, I'm not sure how far. I mean, is it over with them, or they're done with it?
They're done with it, because yes, it is so. They're not putting witnesses on the stand, so there will be no lightning rock. But if they're going to put, if Stanton would agree to go for a trial, a jury trial, you would have seen the Western media there. Because then what would have happened? They would have brought in victims and people to testify against him, which would have been very dangerous. So the plea bargainer, the Western media, no, there's nothing that will make news. So
what I forgot to mention was 3 years probation. Supervision. So that's why way it would come in to say, oh, okay, the 3 years, we see him, he's a good guy. In fact, he's witnessing, he's talking to other people in the place, to change, to affect their life. 3 year probation, supervision, I think that's where it will come from to say, okay, maybe doing well, it will come out. For that supervision. So that's where
that's what
I think he did what he's supposed to do in terms of being too remorseful, to admit the fact what he did was wrong. And I kind of agree with him when he said, I broke the law, I messed up, I brought disgrace to my family. Then they see your human side. And I think that the delay, initially, there was some little bit pull here and there, but but
normally,
when you can't win a case, your lawyer got to tell you, we got to cut a deal. And that's how it works out.
And the danger involved, because to go to trial, this is why, let me tell you something you are asking. When you go to trial, the government going to spend more resources. And if you found guilty, because when they go to trial, they will be asking for the highest penalty. The Fed will be asking for the highest penalty. And the resources they're spending, so they will not have that much on you, and they will put people on the Western stand And these people will come as victims. So when people sit down there and the jury hearing that kind of thing, someone say, "Oh, because this thing
that's a worst one."
Yeah, someone come and say, "Oh,
because then, like you are challenging the
I
system,
lost my house.
Yes,
I lost my house. My family gone because of what these people did to me." The jury listened to that. The jury now have muscle on you. So when that lawyer look at it and say, "You know what happened? They'll go for pre-bargaining. We can negotiate with the prosecution." So that's what the lawyer did to avoid all going to a trial. It would have been, then of course, the maximum term is there for all the crime. But when you bargaining, then of course, you will not have that much time going through jury trial. So that's what happened. What people were speculating, yes, because if you commit a kind of crime, it's spelled out in the judicial system that this is a sentence you're supposed to have. But when you go for the pre-bargaining, then of course, you will have to give something. The judge, then prosecution will say, "Okay, you can," maybe they'll say, "Okay, that Mr. Toh was saying."
So I mean,
their access now they're going through now. That when the prosecution will come down high again and say, "Look,
I wouldn't be surprised serving his 1-2 term and
it could happen
because making this sort of concession.
But
the problem is not to. I'm not sure what I'd like would be the same way in terms of making the full disclosure, how extensive. Because
so it has to be. It has to be because that pre-bargaining that condition set, those are things stipulated within our condition. That at the end of the day, you have to disclose everything. If you don't do so, they come back and they will revoke everything that you pleaded for.
Yeah. So
they will be looked at.
I mean, the fight here. But talking to one of the members, one of the folks that went, that was just casual conversation. Apparently, those family I don't think they knew what was going to happen. So they see that as a victory, like how every other person has been saying you're going to be 10 years, 15 years, this and that, but for it to narrow down to that amount. So they see that like, hey, there is life.
Yeah, it is a victory for him in a sense because he did a pre-bargaining. He's not going through a normal trial again. That is the reason.
Exactly.
And that character wisdom you spoke about, those people, those letters that woman talk about, that gave the judge because I know the acts. He had never committed any crime.
No,
He had not been in jail. He had not been arrested by police. All you see, they would take into consideration, the judge will present it to the judge. Send this man here 15, 16 years. He never got in trouble with the law. He had not been in contact with any people, violent drugs, nothing. So that make you soften. But one of the things I wanted to raise is that, I don't know, Mr. So this one came up. When you plead guilty to the federal crimes, certain rights is taken away from you. Like you will not be able to vote again, like in this country, because you are convicted. That's one thing.
That's true.
Yeah. So that right.
I think jobs it can work.
Maybe they must say. Sometimes they will say you cannot work in the nursing field again. Sometimes, depending, they must say you cannot work in this area again. So all those things will have to play out. But many people don't understand this thing.
He's an RN. So there's no symptom. It's just on the LP, and that's not true because you say, he went to the school he graduated, he's an RN and all of that. So I mean, the lawyer, I don't think they're going to make up anything of before.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, but
I'm being saying the quarter, he's not this, he's not that. I mean, there are some good side, there are bad side, because
what the young man did for me, I always say he did wrong, and he's going to pay for what he did. But some of us, we don't like you. We don't see anything good about you. We just tear you down because we don't like you. I mean, they have people who have made somebody, I won't call it mistake, people have done some of these things. It's a good no. I don't hate other people. But as a human being, I mean, I can't be happy for someone else's son or father going to jail. Yeah, I might have a disagreement, but I will not be saying that I will be rejoicing in it. I would never be that kind of character. what he did was wrong. People got hurt from it, yes, and he's not remorseful. That's part of life. If he even spent 1 year, that 1 year he would learn more lessons from it.
Okay, guys, we're going to shape the gear. So now I'm convinced. You remember we're having the conversation here. We all were saying here, why is he doing what he's doing? Now, what he's doing, his advocacy is talking. There are two things: what he's saying, whether it is true or not true. The thing is, the government of Liberia doesn't have anybody to represent it to say, oh no, what he talking, that's something. It's not about them. So, and they're not going to ask that one day. But his advocacy, when I saw that woman bringing that in, things that he's doing, I was like, oh, okay, this guy, what he's doing, he's not doing it in isolation. This is with a consent with his legal counsel, because you get a service, you know, they get a system of doing community service.
Yeah.
When you go to a jail, when you commit a crime, you know, somebody say you got to do community service, go through.
Yeah.
So his part of community service is to provide a sort of advocacy. And then when she attached this word to democracy, a strong advocate of good government, democracy, well, argument will still be there. Does he have the credibility? Knowing what you did, you also have that credibility to question people. But that's a different thing, and that's just only applicable in our own society.
She was just saying, hey, that's why he did this, but this is the other side of him, you know. So they gotta say they gotta say to the judge to make him.
In my own observation, Mr. So I see this whole thing to be like the Robin Hood of our time. The man is like the Robin Hood of our time. Robin Hood was a nobleman from, I think, England, who used to steal from the No, Robin Hood. There's a story about Robin Hood. Yeah, he's a nobleman, but he used to steal from the rich people to give it to the poor.
The poor people. Share with the poor.
And share with the poor. And based upon that, the poor people gang up and they supported him. And in the time that the rich people wanted to get rid of him, the poor people defended him. So, you know, it's almost like what I'm seeing with Stanton. And also, I want to believe God's intervention. I also want to believe we all got our own thing and what we can do. There are many Liberians in America on paper. The papers, they get a different name. You got different age. So if you say you are vindicated from crime, when they ready go check behind you, sometimes they will find out that maybe some of your relatives you brought here, they keep under different needs. So, you know, everybody's one way or the other got some kind of thing that you are doing that is not right. So for Liberians to really started denigrating him and putting him down, I myself already did not talk much about it.
No. Terry, you're missing the point. When you over here, business and politics don't mix it. Stanton was not known in the community to speak of. He was living his life. Nobody knew him. But the moment he got into the Liberian politics, there, and then started.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is the trouble. This thing we're doing, Terry, you know, sometimes certain people don't want to talk to you.
That's true.
So
that one is very true.
The moment you enter politics, you have created an enemy already.
Especially when you pick a side.
That's it. You have created an enemy already. Some people that you are not even talk to. They will tell you, I hate that man. So I don't anything to them. So when Stanton entered the Liberia political arena, that when the trouble started. And he took side. Then later on, when you're on the government side, it was okay. You see, Samuel Todd used to come on our station, everybody was coming. But the moment he flipped what to Baka side,
right.
Forget it.
So this is what I was talking about. On this NPR, when I visited, that was in 2014. It's a national public radio. There are sacrifices involved. And the lady, they said that. And other people are here, they say, you can have your panelists, you can have your people, but do not take side. Taking side, you put it there. And this is it. Because I remember very well. And I still have it because it's a memory episode for me. See here, that was 2000. I was much younger, no white beard, nothing. That was this lady here, Kristen Goulet. She's a health reporter, and that is one of the director of the National Public Radio station right here in my own Ocean State, Rhode Island. See your guy there sitting down right there. They said that, and a couple of people that will hang around where I say yes. Because when you do that, you honor court. Let them have their apprehensions. Let them make a guess game of your talking point. Because when you do that, I will not get the information that I'm going to get. If I come here and say, oh, I'm supporting CDC, I'm supporting Unity Party, do you think they will feel comfortable to come here, even though they don't want to come? It's at their own, because the one place is where they're going to go to do their own talking, which of course is natural. It was all Sean Hannity going on to Wolf Blitzer show to go talk. It will not happen. It's not going to happen because they got to find their own rule. But it's important. That keeps the integrity of the institution. Will you not have some sort of feelings? This person here? Of course, we are all human beings. We can do that. But let's turn that here. But I think, and the reason we'll go there because people can do all sort of funny photo shoot, or maybe they're going to post some kind of John Suwain. This is what he was wearing. I know people do all kinds of things because of the divide, polarized society we are in. And that was one of the reasons I left from here. And just to see for myself, I don't want to, it's right here in the US, for God's sake. It's not in Liberia. So why can't I go there to be able to provide the actual narrative? Can anybody tell me, say, oh, this happened, does not happen? No, you can't tell me that because I went there, I took notes.
Yeah.
I saw everything. I met him, so we shook hands. That was my first time meeting him. Talked to the Fadiga brothers, other people who were sitting there as an ordinary Liberian. We had a cautious conversation. But I think the support he ran.
And also bring credibility to the network, Mr. So.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. That's why I get our full descriptions of the clothes, because he's the main character in this whole thing. That's what I was giving full description of his clothes he was wearing, his wife's clothes. Because if anybody can say, oh, they wearing this one or they do this, that, no, there was no sheriff enter that courthouse, which was unusual. That gives me a clue. Okay, they're going to sentence this guy, but they're going to give him a time.
Yeah, they sentence you.
The country is going through election. And sentence voice matters because people rely on him. Who knows? Right. Based on that, the judge decided to use his own description. Okay, maybe the election taking place also, and people are looking out for him. Whether he's saying the right thing or not, those are two different things depending who you talk to. But that is in our own Liberian politics. We can say it, we can talk about it. They're not going to ask, they're not going to call anybody from the Liberian community or the government to go understand. But that was it. But I think the lady put out a really strong defense, even though he shared tears. But I think at the end of the day, I think he hoped to see
he got a good deal.
The conclusion. He got a good deal, and to see the conclusions of this election thing, which I think he's putting time and energy in. He wants to see who's going to be the next president. Whether it's going to be Ambassador Boyka or President Weah, but I think he wants to see the end time. Yeah, so again, that works for him because January 31st, that time, then maybe the inauguration's happening, right?
Yeah, inauguration will be over.
The inauguration will be over. So then he will see it. But again, like in the supervision time, depending on how you're going to do his, because the lawyer, the judge stresser, you got to cooperate.
Oh, yeah.
That's key one. The more you cooperate, the more you're forthcoming with information stuff. Who knows? They can use their own.
If he cooperates.
Let's come back here. Amos George, let's come back here.
Yeah, you had a very good talking point on some Mr. Cummings that I really wanted to dive into that.
Before we do that, I don't want to forget. This is an ANC man here. I don't know Cummings' position here. Let me bring it. I know we're some Mayflower but I don't care. Let's listen to some of Cummings' past interviews, so then we can have a conversation here. Amos George was here.
Can articulate and can put the systems and processes in place that will grow the economy. I ask Liberians to consider that. Who is unblemished? Who has not touched? People say you've not had government experience. My response is twofold. One is the experience our government Liberia has provided. We see the results. Liberia is among the 5 poorest countries in the world. So I'm not sure how beneficial that experience is or will be when it has not delivered for the Liberian people. So what experience am I going to get? Experience in stealing, in nepotism, experience in tribalism. That's not what the country needs. That's part of what has held us back. So let's Liberia, let us understand that this experience we're talking about. The other way I answer this experience
Okay. The legendary Amos Joyce. That's your man. Alice Cummings, is that him?
Yeah.
And I think you were on this program when we had this conversation with him. That was 2 years ago, correct?
Yeah.
I believe you had the opportunity, and thank you for the info. I was in Dallas when you gave me that info. That info came to reality, talking to 1 or 2 person, which of course make you like an insider. But let's see.
I'm not an insider. I just I know we do the business. We try to create some friends around the institution.
Okay. Let me I take it back.
No, I mean you're right, but I'm not insider.
I mean your information you gave was a valid information because exactly that's what happened.
Yeah.
The press statement by Honorable Cummings. Okay, the actions of CPP, they have endorsed CDC. Is that a surprise to you?
No, I knew it.
You knew it?
Yeah.
You were aware of it?
You might say had a discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
But do you think, do you have a thought that this time will have come for them to do that or what? You thought of this happening? That's what I'm asking. Prior to the event itself taking place, was there any slight thought of you seeing this happening?
Yes, somebody somebody from the LP was double dealing. So when it came to this point, that person had some influence. So they decided to sway that way. So I knew that this thing would not go down well. So when they got to that point, I knew, so I called some individual and just to confirm my doubt, I say, hey, what are you going to say? Oh, yes. That's true.
And what was your instinct?
Oh, my instinct, I said, I knew something that was happening. I said so many people, but it's also, I'm the kind of person, because I used to call my source and say, look, because some conversation you people have, and you know that conversation pop up somewhere, and certain people were in your midst. So I talked to 1 or 2 persons, and I told them, I said, do some elimination mental. And I told them do XYZ, and you will see where it's coming from. And then when they get it, they found the person. I said, because certain issue will come up, and I'll take the telephone and call some folks within the ANC. Hey, what's happening, man? Why there's no response to the issue? And they will say, but are there other people, that the person supposed to do it? And
so
let
me bring in Terry here. Terry, with this happening, I believe Anthony Yakula, what his name, the Secretary General, oh my goodness.
What about Kula?
No, I'm talking about ANC. Aloysius Toe, meaning they're going to be wearing the red barrel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Amos Joy, let's come home. You say, now, so the decisions of Mr. Cummings, we saw this press statement, and I know that I guess that something was there because he sort of by Raylan. He made it here that if he doesn't win, you listen to the clip, that he was going to forget it and it would be a big disappointment. However, he didn't rule the fight, they're going to do it. Do you think there was a big betrayal on the part of folks that were around Cummings, seeing what is happening? And like you said, there was a heated argument, not heated, or big political divide coming to this decision. He said he was not going to be doing it, for which that statement and just how you told me prior to that, that came to light, that he was not going to make any endorsement, and because he was going to be traveling, I'm not sure what I hear, he was going to make sure get that statement out before it's being misinterpreted. Is he still walking the fine line here, or knowing fully well that's the end, or is it the end of his political career? But he also walked back here. He said in the same tape here that he will, no matter what, he was going to support the opposition because he was in the opposition. Is he flip-flopping? Why is he changing?
No, he's not. He's not flip-flopping because he will not pursue any group of opposition. He spoke in general opposition. And you know there are so many parties, but you have to.
Amos Joy, Amos Joy, stop it, stop that.
Wait.
No, but who the other?
Wait. Go ahead.
Yes.
He said the opposition.
He said he was not going to vote for George Weah.
Yes.
You were going to support. He said if I get a nomination, Ambassador Weah, not Ambassador Boyka will support me. If I get a nomination, I will support Ambassador Boyka. The tape is still here.
They still there.
So now he didn't get a nomination, even though they broke apart. But what he was also definitive was that you were going to give a support to the opposition. Or do you think that was diluted? This is why he's taking this.
I've got Mr. So, and you know, some of the things, Mr. So, at that point I said, I don't want to be like people to go after the United Party now. But because there are things that I know that transpired just the visit of George Weah and that of Joseph Boakai. That thing that expired there. Factor into also Mr. Cummings' decision. But I don't want to go here and there.
Okay, so, let me bring Terry. I don't want you to be a spectator. Do you think after this election year, what do you think would be the fate of the ANC as a political institution?
Well, there are two major things that I think is going to happen to the ANC. And what I did not really what I expected them to do is what they're doing. But again, I never thought I thought that if they have done what they're doing, it will not be good for them. And they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. And what I think will happen to them is this. President Weah was successful in making the ANC to receive a margin that will weaken the CPP or Mr. Cummings from running in 2029. So President Weah is making Mr. Cummings to depend on him to help him to maybe tamper with the law so Mr. Cummings can run in 2029. Because according to the law, once you receive less than 2%, you're not supposed to run in the next coming elections. So there's a possibility now that President Weah have Mr. Cummings to depend on him to free him from that law in 2029. So Mr. Cummings has to make certain decisions that he is not even prepared to do. I think that is the tight squeeze Mr. Cummings is in.
Howard, thank you so much, Howard. Thank you so much. I think Amos George is the best person to ask this question because that was my next question. Howard, you are the Powerball. As of tonight, your credit score is restored. So, Mr. George.
But you see,
I'm sorry, Teresa. Go ahead.
So you forgot about me already, Mr.
No, sorry, go ahead.
So, yeah. So the other side is this. Mr. Cummings, people thinking that his political career has ended. Mr. Cummings' political career can only end if he don't do certain things that are recommended that he should do.
What?
From my own observation.
What are the recommendations?
And that is after these elections, Mr. Cummings would have supported the opposition, it would have still worked out that way. But the right thing he did was not to go neutral and support the CDC indirectly, which I believe he's doing. That would give him hope with seditions. So that after these elections, the same thing Mr. Cummings did to the LP by buying them out. This is politics. Mr. Cummings is a politician now. his word, no more who. He said, oh, I will support the opposition. He's not supporting it. So that means he have become the real Liberian politician now. So what you do, you buy the CDC once President Weah loses. So you can only hope that President Weah lose. Because if President Weah lost, the sedition will remember you. You supported them. Your party went with them. So now you can come in and buy them out. Buy the entire CDC out.
I don't buy it.
You become the face of CDC.
Terry, you might call it, but you sound, Terry, you might call it, but you sound ridiculous.
Mr. Cummings can become the face of CDC.
No. Terry, you might call it, but you sound very ridiculous tonight.
No problem. I could be very ridiculous until it becomes...
Because you see...
You replace a liberal.
Let me tell you, when you're trying to make a story, it's difficult. To lie is very hard. You see what you're doing there? Let me repeat again. Hold on. Let me repeat again. Mr. Cummings is not one of those who take money from people. I can tell you that.
Money.
Hold on now. You were talking, I didn't interrupt
Interest.
you. Listen, you were money. Hold on. You were talking, I didn't interrupt you. You got no shred of evidence. And I told you continue to repeat this jittery about Mr. Cummings. And I want to be very emphatically clear. Mr. Cummings is a man with principles. He said that he would never support George Weah. So I don't know where you're coming from that he's supporting George Weah in the background.
If the party, if the chairman of the party, the BSB, the Secretary General, and all these people endorse the CDC, is that not Mr. Cummings?
Let's give him, and I think we're asking how he can distinguish himself from that of the institution. Maybe
Thank you very much, Mr. So.
Yes, that's a very easy question. Mr. Cummings said, look, I will not support CDC. That's the executive committee said they will play. He said, okay, if you're going, I am not going. And I will not support Mr. Walker. So you can, if you want to go far, but I will not do it. It's when you're in the institution, it's majority rule. Do you agree to it? No. If you agree, okay. If you don't agree, you have to stay. And he said, look, I will not do it. But if you want to go, go. So how can you say that, oh, he indirectly endorsed it?
Did he give an official statement?
Terry,
have he spoken on the issue?
Mr. Terry.
Let him
if you want to talk, then talk now.
No, go ahead.
This is why you
sorry
people,
for that.
You're not helping yourself. Mr. Cummings is a man with principle. He said he would never support George Weah, and he stands by that. You got no piece of evidence to present to anybody.
Mr. George, let me ask you, who is he supporting right now?
You said nobody. Mr. Cummings said nobody. He's not supporting anybody.
Let me. I don't know what you want to act like Cummings, which of course is not going to be possible yet. But since you're a supporter, let's see do you have answer for Hawa?
What Hawa question?
Hawa question says, so who is running off? Who is the opposition he running in this running or in this run off here? Who is the opposition you think to Mr. Cummings? Is there any opposition?
I don't know what you mean by opposition to him.
Is there anybody he's opposing? Is there anybody?
So look, now this is the mistake people making. Your principles, what you believe in. If you stand alone, stand alone. And this is the point with Liberia. It's like rewarding bad behavior. Because United Party stayed in power for 12 years, George Weah can't say that with some ridiculous thing. So therefore, you must go back to the United Party. If you don't go there, that means you are not a nationalist. I mean, you are not a patriot. And I saw people making a kind of ridiculous argument that you have to make a decision. No, it is democracy. If I feel 2-3%, my interest is not aligned with them, I won't. If it will cost me to stay alone, let me stay alone.
Okay.
And this is where we are.
Let me put a number
so can I push back on
So yeah, believe that George Weah and President Joseph Boakai, the left of the two is Joseph Boakai. For me, no. I have seen 12 years of Joseph Boakai, the Unity Party dancing. I have seen 6 years of the CDC dancing. The two of them, I can't make it with them. That's my right. But if the Liberian people say they want George Weah for second term, that's fine. If they say they want just the United Party for another 6 years, that's okay. But my value is what I stand by. And I said it here before. Just as I said, I will not sit down and drink a cup of tea with Prince Johnson because he had never expressed remorse for his action. I will not do it.
So quickly,
Josh,
quickly,
yeah.
Are you supporting anybody in this this one?
No, Mr. Otto, I told you before. No.
You will not know. So I thought you said you were waiting for Cummings.
Mr. Cummings has spoken, but he went my way. He was going to either side. I was not going to say yes because he going there.
So which way Cummings went way?
Oh, not to support either one of them because the two of them are the same.
So that's the same position you're going to stay now.
Of course. What's the difference? All right,
let's take the call here quickly here. Then I'll go to Terry. 202 number. I'm going to put a number out here maybe in the next 15 minutes. 202-2214. Caller, good evening.
This is breakable.
Hey, breakable.
You know. Before I say, let me tell Terry. Terry, we're not. Nobody looking for your opinion in the whole thing.
Oh, you're quite okay.
The whole thing, your opinion is not
talking to you,
because your opinion is you will not base your opinion on your neighbor's feelings. So your opinion, I can't choose. Let's be real. Cumming said you were not supporting none of those two people in the race, and he came out clear by making a statement before endorsement. Secondly, he didn't buy the endorsing CDC. There's a reason. Cumming said, I will support the opposition if I don't win. So who's this camera?
So who's the opposition now?
And that's what I'm saying. I come in. He said I will support a opposition. Not say United Party, a opposition. And he said if I don't win, the United Party came out and said that same statement. No. Apart from that, those people that you talk about that call yourself opposition, they are not opposition. They are a common ruling party. And again, these are the same people that make the Cumming party to be like we all get less percent that they want to get because they make him to be like he's a devil in clean clothes. So if you look at whole thing and you saying because of Cumming saying I'll support the opposition and you damage a man to the fuller, and you will not get a percentage that you wanted. You expect the man to come and say I will support you. Apart from that again, the man said I'm not supporting. That's why he make a statement before endorsement. And in majority, democracy, the majority can't force. In the party, the majority say we're supposed to see. And he said no. Because of that, he make a statement before the endorsement. So how will you believe in the whole issue?
Okay, thank you so much.
And again, on this statement. Look, the election is between former ruling party and past ruling party. In that opposition, there is no opposition in the race. The only opposition that was Cummings and the other people. This is current ruling party and the former ruling party. So there is no opposition in the race. So let me tell you the truth. Thank you.
Okay. But you want to come into take position power breakable?
Yeah, for me, no. No, in the instance of Cummings not taking position.
So who are you supporting? Are you supporting any amount right now?
Who, me?
As a Liberian.
For me, I'm a citizen.
Oh, okay. All right. No,
I'm a citizen. And I tell Cummings, I tell Terry, no matter what you do, your opinion, without your opinion in the whole topic. Your opinion is based on your feelings, not in your opinion.
Oh my God. Terry can really get on your skin. Okay.
I'll find the show. I'll call back any silver in me.
Terry, wait, he said you breakable.
So
Aaron. Okay.
Can you give me small time to say something? Because
go ahead. Yeah, you Terry.
They talk about that too much. First of all, Mr. Pajoy is saying that Mr. Cummings is a man of principle. The last time I checked, the man of principle said he will support the opposition if there happens to be a second round. Today, he's not. So
what are they doing?
Let's forget you say he's a man of principle. Give me chance now. I'll give you a chance to speak. He said he's a man of principle, which means he's a man of his word. His word was I will support the opposition if we go to a second round, and I'm not I don't come up in a runoff, which he now have declined. Number one. Number two, he have not spoken to say that he is neutral to the public. His party have officially declared the support for the CDC, thereby making it to be the CPP, including Mr. Cummings. Including Mr. Cummings.
He said Mr. Cummings had never made any statement that he would not support anybody.
I didn't say that. I said he have not publicly, officially, since the party declared the support for the CDC,
well, I think
Mr. Cummings officially declared to us that he's neutral.
You read a press statement from him?
No, what I mean, Mr. So, let me tell you something, Mr. So. I told you guys on the platform that Mr. Cummings will support the CDC indirectly. I said here on the other side that I said here, I didn't read. It's possible that he did it, but I didn't read it. Right?
You see that?
If it is there,
you see that.
But I didn't. First of all, Pa George, I don't even give it credit because your entire party, your entire organization, gave the support to the CDC. Then you say you neutral.
You see what Terry coming from?
So let me ask this question.
You're not neutral.
Oh Lord.
So let me tell you something.
Oh Lord.
You say you want to ask me.
No, yeah, carry on first, and I just want to ask a question.
Listen, Mr. So, this deception should stop. All right? You and I know that the party have declared her support. I'm not against CPP declaring her support for CDC. I don't know why the United Party would be jumping in and feeling. This is a battle. This is a competition you're in. If one party decides to support the other people because they felt disenchanted in the way you treated them, it is you beef up. You look at your numbers.
Let's
do
look
your thing.
But then you
don't get in your feelings.
You undercutting your own argument.
Terry.
No, I'm not undercutting my argument. I'm not saying it was wrong for Mr. Cummings to Mr. So.
Let's look at some barriers here, and that's why I say all of you here, you can give people headache. You know, the supporter and your political leader, then all the people, Tabata people here. Do you think your party, Unity Party, did enough to get the side of Alexander Cummings? Do you think Unity Party as a political party, political ideologies align with that of Cummings' political philosophy?
So we did what we could do. And there was no way possible for me. We reach out. The people say we can't reach out. Let me tell you something, Mr. So.
You lie.
The fun that these people can be playing, you understand that? Everybody knew that Mr. Cummings that the CPP were going to endorse. The CPP were going to endorse. This is not by surprise.
Why you hold that? Why was the reason you held that to your chest that they were going to do it and you didn't do enough to convince? Because you come. Both sides, the ANC folks, the United Party people folks, for some reason, it almost like a man climbed in the pantry and saw the green snake, and no call the green snake want to strike at you, and knowing fully well you're all in the opposition column. But the United Party people, they have their own way of doing things. ANC, this has been there. So for me, it's not a kind of surprise, but I thought Ambassador Boyka, Boyka, United Party, as they become the on top, I thought they were going to swallow some of the bitter pills to do what it's supposed to do, but you were still fighting.
Mr. So, let me tell you something. The ANC or the CPP could not join with the Unity Party, no matter what we did. We reached out, Pajosi are lying. If the pictures are all there, maybe you didn't see
Mr. So.
Ambassador Boyka reached out. I will give you a chance to speak, Mr. Let me just learn my thought, then you will come in. Whatever you want to say, you can say it. Or what his name, Ambassador Boyka reached out to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings will not. Mr. Cummings them and all the CPP they will not support Ambassador Boyka only for one reason. And this reason is it have nothing to do with that CPP thing. They only use that CPP thing like, oh, because take for example, the Henry Costa that destroyed the CPP and abused Mr. Cummings is in the CDC.
Okay.
Henry Costa and the URA that broke the CPP. They both of them are in the CDC that how you call it, that the ANC and the CPP is going to. So this thing now it has nothing to do with what transpired among CPP.
So let me ask this question here: Is there crime being committed by Cummings? Political crime or?
And there is no crime. That is why I wanted to make my point clear that this is not a political crime. This is Mr. Cummings. This is something that we expected for them to do. The only problem I have is be open with it, be plain, be honest with it.
So
this making you to look.
Let me tell you.
Support the CDC. Support them.
No. You got it wrong.
To say you're not supporting the CDC. I
see Terry point. I see Terry point. So Terry, before Amos George and the Liberal come in, hopefully here, then I will go to the phone lines here. Is it the same as the case of what his name, Joe Lieberman? He's a Democrat, but he endorsed a Republican nominee.
And he went as an independent.
So why you are saying you wanted him to just come out to take a side? Is that equivalent to it?
No. So if you are institutional man, you work along with your institution. You the standard bearer of the party.
Joe Lieberman is a Democrat, or he
was a ranking man in the Democrats.
He's from Connecticut.
Yeah.
From
Democrat, they are just like Joe mentioned over there in West Virginia. Those are people you can't count on. Those type of Democrats, you don't count on them. They call them liberal.
Mr. So
you're not dominating.
You see, the politics that is played in Liberia is not like American politics. American politics is mature. American politics, people base their analogy honestly. They don't depend on other people's mind.
Please you. Comey was not quite prepared for the nasty politics in Liberia, and I've been saying that here. You and the central right refuse to accept my. Comey is not quite ready for the nasty politics in Liberia, and this is how Liberian politicians behave. And Comey believed and trusted these people. He went in there, and this is what he got. Now, be a man. You know you're going to play Liberian politics. You have tested it. You're not going to be a politician here in the United States. Stay there and pick a point. And that's the politics.
It's why you're saying ridiculous tonight.
Central right, the liberal is on. You've been sitting here that I've been listening to you for the last 15 minutes, Mr. Central Right. You've been on here to some of you. I'm here
Bring it on.
As your
Bring it on.
Let me talk.
Bring it on.
Comey, I'm bringing it on. I'm bringing it on.
Eating a ghost soup, we already feel it.
This is what you want to back me up to muddy this water so I don't have the opportunity to speak, and I will speak.
Okay, let's go to the phone line. And then you see. Yeah, hold on. Sam said, please. You're coming from having your dinner. We are not eating it. So just hold on. Let's go to the phone line quickly, and I'll go to Emo Joy. 578.
Thank you, Dion. This is Saturday Yala there from Connecticut.
Okay, Mr. Yala, welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Joe Lieberman is from my state. What I want to say, particularly concerning Comey, for Emo George, a standard bearer, he did not do the Liberian people or good. He never treated all good. Because if you say that if for any reason I do not make it to be to the top, I will support an opposition, and then the time comes for you to give your support to the opposition, and you back off on your promise. That tells us that you are not dependable in the first place. Liberian people are listening and they are watching. If you make any kind of wrong calculation politically, they're going to cost you in the future.
Thank you so much.
What he has done is like throwing stone and hiding your hand.
No. He's a very clean man.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's go to the next caller here. Esther, hold on. Let me go to, I don't know, like Connecticut here or to Washington.
Do I get to speak tonight? Do I get to speak tonight?
202 number 2214. Are you there?
Yeah, this is breakable again. You know, I can comment. They say, man, we told me
tonight.
That's why my heart is blowing. My whole blood is bothering me. No to comment on it live.
Why?
Yeah, they made me put my comments. That it's like I comment on it 2 months. I did it hard time. So they put my comment on Facebook. So they suspend me for 2 days.
Because Zakaba, you don't want winner than I win. You're red too much. So 30 seconds go. I quickly. I want to go.
30 seconds. Mr. To, look, your energy that you have in your house, the way you hold it on live is what be shouting in our ear. Discussing issue. When you say about comments, maybe
don't come disturb my papi. Where are you? Because
I will deal with him. The people that are in the race now is not opposition. They are some form of ruling party. And first of all, the ruling party made a statement. If you say they are opposition, they made a statement. And they will support opposition. They never made a statement. So you know, you have no grounding to make a statement too.
Thank you so much. Okay, Esther, let's hear you.
Hi, Mr. So, and hi to the panelists. Thanks for having me on. So, yeah, I just want to touch on a few things about some things that Terry said that Mr. Cummings did not follow or do what he said that he was going to support the opposition. And what I want to say there is decent UP people, weren't they talking about war crime courts until PYJ got on their side? Every day they woke up, when Costa was leading them, they were talking about war crime court will come to Liberia. What are they pushing today? Since PYJ joined them, we don't hear about any war crime court. And if Mr. Cummings' team goes to join the CDC and he doesn't go, that's fine. It doesn't mean Mr. Cummings agreed. That's democracy, and he cannot force the people to follow him because he doesn't want to support the CDC or the UP. Then everybody should stay behind. And when it was bringing breaches, they forgot that the breaches that we bring, we might need it some days to cross back and go on the other side. So yeah, if Mr. Cummings said that you are going to support the opposition, maybe the opposition, maybe CDC is opposition to him, so maybe that's why he wants to support it. That's what he's thinking about doing, but Mr. Cummings did not choose any side.
Jesus Christ.
People, the politicians, they don't stick to their words most of the time. They will say something that they never do, and the UP is part of it.
So, thank you.
Do you support
doing the same thing and getting the same result?
Oh, yes. Yes. And that's what I said.
Do you have a side?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a side, you?
No, I don't have a side. If I don't like what the CDC is doing, I don't like what the UP is doing, I just be neutral. I don't really want to be on anybody's side.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
No, but that's the person. That's a crime.
I'm still on the floor.
Don't speak, man.
You're not on the floor. It's Mr. Joyce.
You see, Mr. So, before my assistant started giving, I was praising you here tonight. But I knew very well it wasn't going to last, because with this conservative center right in here tonight, you guys want to bamboozle me to push me off the air, and I'm not going to do that. I would, Mr. Center right, and the breakable. Why you not break? You can't even break the glass in your house. You call yourself breakable. What kind of breaking thing you can break? Now, why you come and bring out the liberal? You able to break the liberal? You ever me? Why you not break? You can't even break chicken air in your house. That on here you come and say you call yourself breakable. But let me deal with Mr. Central Right. Look, on a very serious business, Mr. Saul. This is my opinion. Comey is a clean person. Comey is one of the best in this whole race, including the president that I support. One of the best leaders. If Comey has won, Liberia will be changed overnight. The corrupt behavior in our country would have been changed overnight. Comey does not have the connection. So I don't even have to say maybe. We've seen that. My thing is this. Comey came into this position, I believe, trusting the Liberian politician, thinking that they will be straight with him, just like he's being straight with them. They lied to him from the beginning, including the president that I support. They lied to him from the beginning. And not only that, when they find out that this man, most likely, if we go with the process that we enumerated in the document, if we go with it, this young man might be able to win. So what did they do? As a dirty politician, they unleashed Costa on Comey, and that went on for months.
Hold on here. You opened the one. In my crab here tonight. So,
wow.
So,
where are you getting your information from?
And I'm going to come to you. Do you have the guts to tell people here they unleashed Costa here, your son? You were here day before you. Hold on.
Intimidate me. You're not, you and the center right, including my own son, Terry, you're not going to intimidate me. I will make my point. And so we saw Costa going at Comey. And Costa told us this, that the purpose of the damaging the CPP was
Samson, hold on. You get on my nerves.
Let me finish my statement. And now, my thing is this. Comey got involved. He saw the people somersaulting on him. Knowing fully well how dirty the Liberian politics is. You have tasted it. And Comey, you can be the next in line. Now that you missed this boat, that same Sinto has been telling you from day one to go on me, Ambassador Baka. You missed this boat. Now, what I thought Comey would have done is to say, okay, I'm in Baton, I will hang like bat upside down. Sending people, their politics is deadly, and I'm not going to be able to fix it. I will join them. And let Comey make a decision, decide who you want to support. You're already in the mud. You're already in the mud, and you're going to come out of there and say you clean? It's not going to happen. You're already in the mud. I got a speech about Comey where he accused President Weah of everything, including kissing sin. He threw at President Weah, and then he's going to come out and say, I'm a clean whistle now. Unbelievable.
Something to. I gotta bring Josh in. Then you should be ashamed of yourself. All of you are the people that are creating problem in that country. And you started here a few days ago. Listen, you were talking at intro. You started 2 days ago. You on this network. Costa, my son. Costa is smart. Hold on. When Costa was tearing into pieces, when he was pounding more than what Israel is doing to Gaza right now.
What?
Never said anything here. You never said anything here. You said son. He started with Joseph Boykana, and then you turn around and you can't advise it. You sat here and allowed the entire train to derail. Then you want to come back here to come what? What you try to prove?
I'm saying Comey should have made a decision and select somebody and support that person. That's what I'm saying. Preferably, Ambassador Baka.
You know, Mr. So, let me say this to Samson and Collins. Mr. Collins, let me ask you. Are you just a floating member of the Unity Party? Do you have access to people that can give you some information, concrete information? Or you just a spectator? Because you speak like a spectator.
I don't think he's in a courthouse.
Okay, no, I'm not saying he's in a courthouse, something though. He speaks like a spectator, and you speak like a spectator.
Because I don't know people. You know my position already. I don't know.
You speak like a spectator. Some of us manage to have access to people in so many institutions. You say, oh, he never comments. I can tell you exactly the conversation that took place between Barker and Cummings. I can tell you exactly.
You were there?
I don't have to be there. Mr. So know me. I don't have to be there. Sometimes you don't know me. When I come and say something,
you say you don't even know the people you're telling people that you don't even know about. So why you?
Are you back? Are you taking position with Central Right? Are you backing?
You ask questions.
So you look at me and say I'm a spectator. Anyway,
of course, from the point you're speaking from.
You're taking side here tonight.
The point you are speaking from. Because if you people have access to the conversation within some of the political parties, what you people saying here will not be saying it. Because I know, I got the information, the conversation I transferred between Honorable Barker and Mr. Cummings.
What's the conversation?
No, that's it's not for public consumption.
So then why you talking in public? Hold on. Things coming forward right now. So if it's not for public consumption, why are you talking?
I said something. I can't go further than that.
What?
I can't go further than that.
So then why are you saying it when you can't go further?
I said it.
How do you
I cannot explain detail. That's all. I cannot explain detail. But I just mentioned to tell the Liberal and colleagues that because the statement Collins made that Omen Barker reached out to Mr. Cummings. Yes, that's true. But do you know the conversation that took place?
What is the conversation, George? What's the conversation?
Mr. So, let me name my talk. And something told, let me come to you again. Let me disagree with your mom. You're talking about Cummings should have gone as VP to Joseph Barker. You know Joseph Barker something because you'll be the Minister of Public Works.
No, I don't know them. They don't know.
Hold on. You wanted for Cummings to go and beg Joseph Barker to be VP?
Yes, that's it. You can't tell me why you don't want to tell me. Say you know what I can't talk.
Person told from Joseph Barker can anybody from Joseph Barker told you that Joseph Barker wanted to come and say, look, Cummings, I come to you. Let's work together. So let me go and you be my
Mr. Joyce, can you do us a favor?
Mr. Yue
why you're hiding until the whole thing boss now? We not know what you say you must tell me. Why you don't want to tell me?
Well, Mr. So I told you the other day I told you what you wanted to hear. I called you and I told you something.
This is what I want to hear now. I want to you say terror doesn't have people to tell you something. You get people who can tell you something we need to know.
So let me continue. Let me learn so you can come back with your question. So something too. Also, this is ridiculous on anybody's part for somebody to go start begging someone, oh, please make me minister. Or please Joseph Honorable Barker never wanted one to
come. But you didn't listen to Mr. Yue?
And said that I want you to be my VP. Mr. Yure went to appeal to Cummings on his own behalf. It was not for Honorable Barker. You can go and talk to me, but the man who's supposed to make that final decision had not spoken to you. So those are two different things.
Okay.
So that's my point I want to make to you people. And to conclude, this is a democracy. If my value does not align with you, I will not support you. Mr. Cummings Postnoff, I did make 5 points the last time. The Unity Party came and spoke on that issue to say what Mr. Cummings has said, we agree to it. No. The CDC said what Mr. Cummings has said, we agree to it. No. And so let me tell you, there are some folks from the Unity Party, from the CPP will be endorsing Joseph Barker. Okay? But Mr. Cummings will not do it, and some will go to the CDC. So let me tell you.
We knew CDC, ANC is.
You know, this is the whole Liberian thing here, and I know it's happening here, or it's something. So, do you want to tell her exactly what happens behind the scene? I mean, they're nothing holding against. So, why you want to hold info? You want to be the Bob Woodrow to keep holding information?
Yeah, I will discuss that on the Sunday show. Let me get my
discussing on my show. We're going to discuss it.
The man is in Gaza. You don't want to give her the information.
Something though, I told you people, you and Terry, that from now after the campaign, I don't want to attack the Unity Party people. But if you people, if you people want to go down that road, then we'll go down that road. I told you people that I don't want to say anything.
But George, we are not afraid of you.
I'm not taking side with them. I don't want to be that kind of
character. For me, I have never denigrated comments.
Mr. George.
Mr. George. Say that comment is not a man of word.
Mr. George.
Oh, but that is not denigrating somebody's character like the way you denigrate Ambassador Walker's character here.
I never
giving information of speculations that you said.
Honorable Walker, everything I told you about Walker.
Let's restore sanity in the house. Mr. George.
That's why I keep telling you every time you say those things are not true because you don't have real.
Okay, tell me one thing that I have said about Walker is not true. That
hello, guys.
I fabricated.
Okay, let's maintain the order. Mr. George.
Yeah.
I've said that here. I the only person consistent. Something told running around with chicken without hair, go to this side. I don't know the people, they do not know me, but yet he preaches their gospel. That's another thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you surprised to see the political gaming that is ongoing, these endorsement, people doing this? Are you surprised?
No.
Should we expect more?
Oh, what you expect now, that as I told you, as I just told you, some folks will go to CDC and some folks will go to Unity Party, and maybe tomorrow.
Who most likely on the winning side of this whole thing?
Yeah?
Who do you think is on the winning edge in this whole thing?
Or in terms of what now?
The election, the runoff.
The runoff, I might give a little edge to Joseph Walker. I'll give a little edge to Joseph Walker.
Why? How you got to that point?
I see the people that gravitate to Washington, they might let him more vote in the Western region and things like that.
Is that something you're hoping to see happening?
Oh yeah. Oh, why? I'm not against anybody who win.
Including.
But and again, in Maryland, I saw Bonnie. Bonnie is now up there, and Balu is also there now. So okay. I think they try to ratchet some things in those areas.
Okay, guys, I think we're gonna the liberal.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, who are you?
The man on God.
Just telling you. Thank you.
You're getting out on the young man.
No, listen. I just calling your attention. Thank you so much for participating.
No.
You know, liberal will not go down all of five.
I have to make my closing point. Listen, you got to understand this. I'm not just here on LPR as a features or something to address LPR. Duly register in the Republic of Liberia. Duly register in the Republic of Liberia as a news person. These are my documents. These are my credentials. Do you see here? It's
your vest.
These are my credentials, Mr. So I'm not just here dressing up and sitting here without any knowledge of what is happening in Liberia. Look, let me just give you this. And I'll be very frank and I'll be very truthful with you. What is happening right now, these people, these political leaders, including people that I admire, are taking this thing for a joke.
They are not information we cannot say it before Terry and Pato. Oh yeah.
What?
They said Terry, as I said, I classified information. You think what Boykato? So they can say it before. So can you guys go, please? We want hear. We want you for you to hear it. Oh my God, Esther.
Can I make my point? On a very serious note. and I will end with this, Mr. So. You have these non-state actors, these people that have no standing in the real community of politics. These people gravitate towards anything that they can get money off.
That's it.
You have the people that were supporting ANC. You have some of the hierarchies of ANC denigrating, saying some nasty thing about President Weah. And yet today, they are all gravitating towards President Weah.
Why you can't talk about your son?
Mr. So, will you please, why you want to tell me what I got to say? When I in town, this is America, and where the freedom is ringing everywhere. I am free to say whatever and whenever. You ain't saying my mom, my ain't saying you mom. Let me finish, please. So, these people that go out and go and do the kinds of endorsement and things, the president and Ambassador Waka should reject these people. They are not sincere, they are not serious. And the most of the difficult thing and the more peaceful thing about this, many of these people are very young. With this kinds of nasty politics that we saw Kumi got in, and these people are still practicing the nasty politics at this very young age. When they get older, liberal politics will never be the same. It will remain to be nasty towards each other. Policy issues are not discussed. When personal issue at the time of the day, what personal issue got to do with me? What my children will eat, that personal issue, joy, we are sure about my children.
You didn't hear Donald Trump days here lock talk?
No personal issue. These are unacceptable, and these young men should reject it. And Ambassador Waka and President Weah should make sure point finger at these people. You. I don't want you in my camp. If I can't win without you, so be it. That's the only way that all these things gonna stop, Mr. So. I say so.
Well, Egu, you say so. We not agree. So that you alone, you on your own. You didn't see Donald Trump talking about Lagator here before you talk about young people who should reject something that now you want for people to reject. They're not rejecting anything. They want to be president. We say, hey, you didn't listen. You were carrying on and carrying on and carrying on. You are one of those to get us to be where we are today. Esther, what's your final word before I go to the guys on the screen? You got a final message?
Yes, yes, Mr.
So what kind of classified information you get that you don't want us to know? That you don't get our country?
I already say classified. I can't say anything about it anymore. Pato and Terry here. So,
Terry and Pato here, so they can declassify it. Oh my God. The ANC people, they say, hello. Hey. Wow. All right, let's hear you.
Yeah, Mr. To, I just want to say that in Liberia, we are looking forward to the Liberia we want to change starts from us. But we, the people ourselves, most of us, we are the one that get Liberia to where it is today. If somebody is not on your side in insulting the other political leader, then you support that. And then when the person switch and go on the other side, now the person become a bad person. So that's the society we find ourselves. Young people will stand and insult other people. Look at Costa and Eugene Falcon. How Eugene Falcon was insulting Honorable Boaka here. Costa was insulting President Weah and Mr. Cummings. Both of them switched. They're going to those who they finish insulting. And now people there, oh, the person right, the person this and that. Politics don't have to be like we're going to war, even though there are numbers we need. But if you look at these people misbehaving like that because you need number, and you take them, that's a decision. But at the end of the day, history is going to judge everybody. So I just want us to be careful because nobody knows tomorrow. As we do this politics, one person that I've seen that always try to get people on the UP side, one of the UP person I've seen so different, that's Terry. You other people, as soon as you say something, you don't love the country. Oh, when you say you own the other side, that means you don't love the country. Mr. Cummings not coming out to support is how you call it, UP or CDC, doesn't mean he doesn't love Liberia. Or maybe he said, maybe when he had meeting, as I said, the classified information, maybe the things that we wanted on the table, UP could not give it to us. So we don't want to be there. So we don't want to support anybody. But anyway, at the end of the day, Liberia is our country. Let we try and do what is right. Thank you again for having me. And
all right.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to watch Mr. So show again, like you always do. But thanks to everybody for having me tonight on the show. Bye.
Trouble, oh man. Okay. Before I go to the guy, this is these guys, and that's what I don't. One of them the same, and she's quite right. Let's listen to some of them soundbite, and they have all changed and been celebrated. You know, this is so. It's so. Here. Let's listen here. Okay, where is this? Anytime something to occur here, then it's a problem for people.
Leading voice. Yes, it's in Costa that have publicly attacked a standard bearer of another party. You may say, oh, ANC people attack the people, but someone that you have aligned yourself with. Joseph Boyka cannot tell me he didn't see the insult that Costa gave to Alex Cummings. Joseph Boyka cannot say that he was not there when the scene Costa insulted him. It's like this old man is so desperate for power that he doesn't even care.
Who this? That fatty guy. He was the old man. Our fatty guy. Yeah. This is the hypocrisy. It's so sickening. It's all this for their behavior. Can I listen to I listen to them maybe for entertainment because I do not see honest all of them. A fatty guy here. Let's listen.
That Costa will get on Joseph Boyka case, and that would be the Unity Party that I know. The Unity Party officials that I know. Those boys and Costa relationship is suspect. They love their attention. Costa love their attention. They have big ego. Costa have big ego. They all love power. Costa love power. Pretty soon there will be clash of the egos, and I know where we're in. So Joseph Boyka, get ready because Costa will dirty your clothes again outside. He already told you.
You see that? That's is it. Now, can these people, how can these people, what is the, I don't want to go to Costa on that. I've seen a bar here tonight. I don't want to play a show.
You play on YouTube.
You way over your time. I'm the boat chair. You way over your time. They show so countdown end now.
Okay, guys, 1 minute we need to go. But I mean, I want to be in trouble. People sit down and, you know, this is crazy. Libra, you done, right? Amos Joy, what's your final?
Yeah, so I don't want to say to the
how many times you want to talk tonight, Pape? Now you.
Santo is on guard tonight. He's on guard tonight. Let me say this. Let me say to the Liberian people. You have to believe in what you believe, to stand for something that you believe in. I get it. People are not saying, oh, Mr. Cummings, he doesn't like the Liberian people. I don't like the Liberian people. But here's the thing here. I'm not going for the lesser of two evil. No. These people, they have a record. I've seen the devil dancing. If the Liberian people want to make their choice, either way they want to go, that's fine. But I don't want to put my hand in that fries. And Mr. Cummings doesn't want to put his hand there. And it is the right of every Liberian to support who they want to support and to stay neutral if they wish to do so. It's not a crime. Tomorrow, some of you come back and say, oh, we saw there was the reason. So I want to say this, and Terry, let me tell you, Terry, I had never insulted Omen Boyka. What I have said for Omen Boyka is on record. So if I question it, that policy, that's policy. It's not personal. I had not wanted instead of Omen Bwaka, I had not wanted to say anything to relate to any common. I have always questioned policy, what he did. So if you can show me one thing that I did to denigrate Mr. Bwaka, please tell me. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm sorry.
All right,
I don't want you to find anything around because we have people listen to us. And the Liberian people have never got it. Someone, oh, this man was insulting Omen Bwaka. But you are not sure.
We don't insult people on this network.
So please.
Okay.
The statement that I denigrated Bwaka.
Okay.
If I cannot prove it, I will say sorry to him.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Terry?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So. It was a wonderful show and all of that. To just say the least, you see, Mr. Cummings, in my opinion, did not do right by me from my observation, because in my mind, I think he have joined the very people that he said, if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same result. He have joined that particular clan by being very deceptive, from my opinion, in trying to pretend as if to say he is not endorsing the CDC. In my opinion, Mr. Cummings have indirectly endorsed the CDC.
He has not.
because
Mr. So read a letter.
I said my observation. Can I be entitled to it for a minute?
You're unity man. You're entitled to it. You are.
So Mr. So,
it's not true.
So Mr. So, the reason I say this is because that listen to Pajor, he said, oh, some people will go endorse Unity Party and some people will endorse your VSB, your chairman, or what her name, Yekula, that is very close to Mr. Cummings. They all endorse the CDC.
So what
that is the executive. That is your executive. That is your entire party right there. So, all right. So if you and Mr. Cummings said he said, let us give President we are red card. So as a leader, you want to tell me as a leader, your people not listening to you? Let us give President we are red card. President we are now supposed to be off the field. But now your people that you told to give President we are red card, they say no. We will bring President we are back on the field. That means they did not listen to you as a leader.
But then
now you are the one. You are the one that we must trust Liberia to.
Oh, so now why are you saying, Terry? If that happens, like we're seeing it, most likely is happening, then their action transferable to Cummings?
Because you are the leader. You command your people.
I said this here. All the politicians in Liberia, they do not have control over their people. Period. When you follow them, they follow the people. They just doing it.
If you say to me that you don't have control over the people that are not part of your leadership,
they do not have control over their people.
Who was chairman? Who her brother campaign? She appeared in the program.
No, but Edith Gongo is not part of. She's not part of the leadership of Councillor Gongo. Mr. So, working.
Mr. So, that's why you could have watching the show.
Mr. So,
what?
Listen to Terry. Either Gongo and I just speaking on behalf of
the leadership of the CPP is commanded by the standard bearer. They work to the caprices, the will and caprices of the standard bearer. He controlled that particular team. So if the team leave and say, okay, we're going in this direction, and then he Mr. Cummings deflect by himself, which is unusual. The minister, one thing to me, is not doing it all by himself. He is working along with
So let me ask. Sorry, let's put it to a rest. We gotta go. Do you think I just want to?
No, quickly, Bwaka was supporting Cummings. I mean, Costa for insulting Mr. Cummings.
Anybody blood pressure go, oh yeah, not responsible. Let me ask you here. Do you think the action, and you're making a valid point, Terry, all the executives, all of them, do you think the actions of the CPP is in acquiescence with that of Cummings? Cummings is aware of what they are doing and he agree with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's from my observation. Okay. This is Liberian politics for you. That's why you are trying to compare the American. To me, the American politics is very honest and transparent. Liberian politics is not. Liberian politics is full of deception. But let me learn so
Yeah.
I can run.
Okay, let's we gotta go.
I have seen Ambassador Boyka in endorsements as compared to the CDC, and I want to agree with Pat George. Ambassador Boyka is receiving some genuine endorsements that I believe is going to help him if and only if we continue on the trajectory we are on. So my last word to our people will be: vote Ambassador Boyka for a new Liberia, for a transformed Liberia, and for a Liberia that is going to move forward. And the reason why all this rift and all going on is because somebody sitting somewhere saying to themselves that because I did not get it, Ambassador Boyka should not succeed. Because they know, they are aware that if Ambassador Boyka become president.
Who is the person you're talking to, Terry?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? Who's sitting there somewhere?
Mr. So I'm speaking hypothetically. All right. I'm speaking from a perspective that, people believe that once I didn't get it, baby. All right. So the king should cut the baby into two, because you know very well that the baby, if the baby goes to the woman, that is the woman's child. She's gonna do well with it.
Is that compatible with Cummings' stance as we speak? Is that saying something in that same direction? Is that what you're saying, or what?
No, well, I'm not really speaking about Mr. Cummings. I'm speaking to all the other opposition people and everybody as a whole who refuse to say, okay, you know what? The opposition should be supported, because the reason why we cast our vote against President Weah, it was for one goal and one goal only. We felt that President Weah was not good for Liberia. So
when we come back here, when we come back at some point in time, all these things we're talking, we're going to walk back of it, like
you
commentators, the advocate, they insulted, they caused, they said all kinds of things. The water was poisoning, this Sanama days and all of that. Now they are having a great time. And I said that these people, they are doing it, and that's the work of a politician. When they look at the wavelength of the process, they want job. Everybody needs job to live. So
job and money, Mr. Job and money.
Advocating complete nonsense. They want it. I too need job. But when we come back here tomorrow and start saying, knowing what I know now, and we're not talking everything, will we come back to that point, you think?
Oh yeah, we'll come back.
So we're going to go on a rehearsal after the 14 and going on. We're going to
somebody went on rehearsal.
But you see this guy, or you just play. Fadika had a personal issue with Henry Costa. One of the reasons why Fadika even joined the train was when Henry Costa turned against the Unity Party. Fadika felt within himself for a long period of time that Henry Costa was not to be trusted. But again, this is politics. You have to allow everybody.
Yes, let's leave it. We're not going to read again.
Remember we had a conversation on
they call the liberal name Mr. George.
The liberal, thank you so much for being part of the show.
No, this is on tape. You're very so it's not the reason
to filibuster this whole show tonight, and you're going to sit here and now tell me that I cannot do a closing. How fair is that?
You are the first. They gave the floor.
Well, the war is not fair.
Okay, let me make my closing.
How you make a closing? You don't know.
Terry,
we're not hearing you.
They can hear me. I can hear myself. I can hear you. Thank you for taking on these two conservatives here tonight and taking on them, standing for us. We appreciate it. Mr. So, good night, Mr. George. Good night. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank God I brought you back.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll have a conversation. Who knows? Tomorrow is Saturday. More endorsement coming tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow and the after tomorrow.
Who endorsing who?
Pato, you are not. You see what you see? I mean, but George is You got to give us the information, Pa George. You can't go that way.
No, that's you.
Okay, I forgot. He told me at the end of the show. So, okay, what was the communication with Boyka and Cummings?
See, I'm gonna tell you that one, man.
Forget it, man.
Not your business. You're not ANC person. I'm talking to I'm talking to the ANC man. Wait, you say what about Boyka? That's business.
Okay, when I come to Raw Island, we'll
okay, Pa George, I will call you after the show so you tell me. Okay, I need to know. Don't tell Terry and Cummings.
What's on the show here?
I'm not receiving any call from Liberian Popular Radio. Anybody tonight that has affiliation on Liberian Popular Radio, I'm not receiving call from anybody tonight.
The trouble they cram
What?
Including me?
The manager. I have always told the manager I'm not receiving any call tonight.
Oh, Terry, here is the reason. Let me boss a secret now, right? Let me boss a secret with it, man. We already have, you know that Sarah gate there. You know what it means to be a police commissioner to that gate there. The man,
a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
Information coming, going to speak 5 days to the process. Would that be the turning point? Okay.
No.
Yeah, look at you, bro.
You have to wait.
He freaking out now. Good night. Hey, he say you may again. I say coming with me 5 days in the process. You hold your breath quick. So Aloysius told Mariah Yakula, you see how politics is dangerous when people do all of this kind of thing here?
Dangerous.
The only person that I see real, even though he's not contained in his thing, and there's a lot of factors leading to them that is honest, it's Yaka Koluba. I don't like his expression, but he is, when he for you, he for you. He say all the other people there, the liberal there.
I'm just like that. If I'm for you, I'm for you. You do something wrong, I'll tell you. I'm just like Yaka Koluba, except I don't do the cussing.
Mr. So, let me tell you, in Liberia politicians, two things that drive them: money and job.
But what do you think?
Money.
Politics are all about interest, but so the notion people say, "Oh, I'm doing it for money, and I want joy." You want joy of veins stressing?
No,
that's a big lie.
We know this.
But I can't sit and talk for somebody, and at the end of the day, I want joy to do that.
No, Mr. So, here's the thing here.
Mr.
If you are committed to some institution,
if I want job,
no, you think I want job?
No. If you are committed to some institution,
I can't speak for you. You speak for yourself. I'm just going to tell you, if I talk for somebody, of course, I want to work. And that issue, you want to work, but why you take to the table, I think that's the more important thing.
So all these people, they will tell you, but by the time their friend called and they say, my man, 50 G on the table.
I bet the Eugene Fagon, the Fadiga, the Heron Costa, who else again? All the people they say they are advocating. Let any of their people win a court and say, no, I was doing it for the Liberian people. I bet any of them, they are West Side.
Those people are not advocates.
They not want joy. Advocate where?
No, Mr. So, those people are not advocates. Those people are not advocates. Those people are representing a political party to promote an agenda. They're not advocates. Because they are never balanced in what the door. They either blackmail people to get some money.
Yeah, advocates are no.
George, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what will become of ANC, but it is what it is.
We'll go through.
Look, I can remember. Listen, but it's two ways too. Cummings, there is something. How many years? 5 or 6, 7 years ago. I had an interview with Kwame Clement, Wellman Ray, pass away. Those are people, the origins of, that was 5, 6, something, you remember? At that time, there was no live stream. It would just used to do this stuff here. ANC get a very deep history. And I think when Kwame came, how he took over the ANC, they get a long story to that. I don't know those same people.
We know he paid money. He bought ANC.
The other Ome, you don't tell a Ome. People who in the time where can break you were there before your good night. A man in the time, old person in the time can talk like that.
You know, I told them I don't want to go high on the Liberty Unity Party, but they continue to push me. And if you continue, they
must say that don't go high. The people
But
can't be
George, we are
president.
not
Say you
afraid
go
of
high.
you.
You must say that.
Bring the lot because we listen. The men were afraid of that the men firing us, and we still not afraid of him. Then are you the one
who man? No, you see the men are firing you people.
Get all our secret.
No.
So
Costa is not firing you people. What Costa is doing, he going personal. He's not talking the issue.
That is politics. That is propaganda.
No.
That's the reason why President we are brought him in.
I think that's the next movie that coming because I think Stanton and Costa right now. You know, this boy, Tony Ashibi, Tony in the wild
is on now.
No.
All the things that they behind the door, we see them on Facebook.
Coffee is not
There is nothing we hear you.
But I'm trying to tell you, coffee is not politics.
Okay, then.
Coffee is not politics.
So let's listen to Cummings' interview 2 years ago here before we close the night, right here on LPR. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Thrive. And so I will focus on the business side as well. And focusing on philanthropy and the business is how I would channel my energy to help the Liberian people if, in the unlikely case, I'm not successful in becoming president of Liberia. You know, I tell people, you know, you bring your ball to the game, they don't choose you, you don't take your ball and leave. We'll stay engaged, we'll stay involved, but we'll just help in a different way. We'll not be able to impact all 5 million Liberians, which is our goal, our aspiration, our wish, but we'll be able to help thousands of Liberians, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad legacy. Now, I'll go to my grave feeling, look, we tried for the presidency, Liberians went in a different direction, it was their choice, it's okay. We're not going to be vexed with anybody. People make choices. It's okay. And then we'll focus on the areas we have some control over, and we'll help the country and impact Liberians in that way.
With all of these sort of explanation here, let me poke into your political mind here a little bit. Why did Alexander Cummings did not even take a shot of the senatorial seat for his own county, Maryland? Why? Because we all frowned on that bidding of a lot of things happening. The lawmakers, we saw them to rationing money unbelievably, considering all that is going. Why can't we even start taking the change from in the first branch of government? Why can't you take a shot at the senatorial seat for Maryland County? Why the presidency?
Yeah, because Alfonso, the reason why we entered politics, and this is a good question, it's an important point. The reason why we entered politics was the desire to impact all 5 million Liberians, to have scale, because I felt and believe that the experiences I've been blessed to have had lend themselves to trying to impact the entire country. And while the Senate plays an important role in that effort, as a single senator, 1 out of 30, it's difficult to have the sort of impact I would like to have. And so it's almost that simple, is to focus. You see, I believe, and this is a good conversation for us to talk about us as a people, Liberians, is that I don't think we set our ambitions high enough. In some ways, we try to punish ambition, and it's because too often we've been disappointed, we've been lied to, extenuating factors come into. So Liberian will have an ambition to do X, that will be their plan A. And even before they even start really working on it, they're already working on plan B. They're already assuming, oh, something will happen, something will go wrong. And then they start working on plan B, and they end up with plan B or even less. I want to change that paradigm. I want to change the environment so that we can focus on our plan A. And my life experience is when you focus on your plan A and you focus on it, 9 out of 10 times you achieve it. Yes, there's always a possibility it doesn't work. But once you start focusing on that possibility it doesn't work, that's kind of where you end up, right? As opposed to saying, what are the barriers to stopping me from, my plan A, and let me focus on that. And so the desire is to serve all of our people, to impact the lives of all Liberians. And so I've decided, look, let me focus on that. The Senate is an honorable body. It does need some change and some work. But be one out of 30 people, I don't think I will have the kind of impact I would like to have. And that's why I decided to aspire to serve our people. And I use the word serve deliberately because I think it's a servant leadership role. That's why I say I don't want people to come who want to play big shot. It's not about playing big shot. It's coming to work to change the lives of our people.
It is not my wish to, so you can succeed, but you have put the cap on the head on so many issues now. Would that be your end of your political career?
Yes. You know, if I'm not successful this time, as I said, I will be disappointed, but life will go on and we'll focus in these other areas to help our country and our people. But it's important that I leave you with this message, though. We will be successful. I am very confident. So I'm not thinking about that plan B. I'm spending no time, Alfonso, on that plan B.
Nobody even want to wish for that. Everybody wants to wish for plan A. That's the
yeah. I am really down my plan A to make the case to our people, to ask them to look at my record, to remind them I'm one of them. Through hard work, blessings, providence plays a part in these things, right? We are where we are, and we want to help. We want to give back. And that's my focus. And as I said, the work will even increase in terms of my travel around the country, meeting people, touching people, they touching me, so we can make the case to our people. Because, Alfonso, this election that's coming up, Liberians have three choices, I think. One choice, and these are not individuals per se, although you could attach anything. One choice is Liberians can vote for the past. All Liberians can vote for the present. All Liberians can vote for the future. And I think Liberians will vote for the future. The other choices Liberians have, right? The Liberians have a choice because in Liberians' mind now, there's two political institutions. No disrespect to any others. In most Liberians' minds, there's the CDC and then the CPP. Those are the two choices political institutions. And then the other choice kind of tied to the first three I was talking about is those who want more the same, status quo, or going back to the past, and also want to look at the future and do things differently. Because I know you've heard my saying, we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. That's a saying is not, I didn't say that. I think it was the scientist, I forget his name now. But you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect different results. And I know Liberians, that is resonating because I hear repeated all the time. Liberians want a future that is different, that they will be the primary beneficiaries of the benefits and the resources of our country.
Okay.
Albert Einstein, it was an Albert Einstein quote.
I'm not a mean guy here, but it's part of our responsibility to speak to this issue and have this sort of authentic and genuine conversation. So
absolutely.
The document in my hand here, I want to digress here, is the what it calls the collaborative framework document here. It is what in my hand. So I'm going to add another column or quote on that. So another choice now, you get a battle before you within your own CPP collaboration, because that's where you have to come first. Then you're going to take on the bigger one here. So speak to the CPP here. As far as I'm concerned, anything can change, but your main challenger now is the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia from the Unity Party. What sort of line of demarcation that we can draw to for the Liberian to understand? Because these decision makings for national leaders, they must start from bottom to top approach, not top to bottom approach. So what makes you so equipped, so firm, so strong, decisive decision making than that of the vice president, of the former vice president? Because there is also an argument on this side of experience and this and that. How can you square those out?
So, you know, I'm one that focuses on what I call positive advocacy, advocating positively for myself. And I will let you in the media, Liberians, you can draw the contrast in terms of the choice before us. But I want to focus on what I bring to this challenge that Liberians in our country face. And I ask Liberians to consider the following. Again, in no particular order, but you should consider all of these things. One is, there's another thing I like to say, that the best predictor of future behavior, future performance is past behavior, past performance. So I ask the Liberian people to look at my past performance, my past behavior around integrity, around managing a large, complex organization. Alfonso, many Liberians, when they think about Coca-Cola, they think about the plant, the factory in Pinsville. I ran all of Africa for that big multinational company. What they call the market value on the New York Stock Exchange, you live in the US, of Coca-Cola is about 240 billion United States dollars. And a Liberian from Point Four was the number 2 executive in that institution globally. So in addition to running Africa, we had global responsibilities that touched on over 1,000 plants, over 700,000 system employees, large complex organization, did it well, did it successfully. And so the results are there, and did it with integrity, right? Then you got to look at what are the pressing needs facing Liberia, and it's the economy. And who understands the economy? Who understands the private sector? Because the government is an enabler. It's the private sector that will drive the growth. Liberian private sector, Liberian businesses. Who understands that best? Who's lived it? Who understands the psychology of the Americans and the Chinese and Nigeria and all the investors? Who best can articulate and can put the systems and processes in place that will grow the economy? I ask Liberians to consider that. Who is unblemished? Who has not touched? People say you've not had government experience. My response is twofold. One is the experience our government in Liberia has provided. We see the results. Liberia is among the 5 poorest countries in the world. So I'm not sure how beneficial that experience is or will be when it has not delivered for the Liberian people. So what experience am I going to get? Experience in stealing, in nepotism, experience in tribalism. That's not what the country needs. That's part of what has held us back. So let's understand that this experience we're talking about. The other way I answer this experience, Alfonso, is managing government is managing a big complex organization. You have to deliver results. In the corporations, you measure it by growth in market share, growth in profitability, etc., etc. In government, you measure it in services to your people. Is your education system getting better? There are ways to measure, there are metrics to see are you performing or not. There are different metrics. But you got to manage people. You got to build a team, identify people. You got to make sure the team is motivated. Then you got to deliver results. You got to do this concurrently. You do that in large corporations. You do that in government. And I've done that successfully. There's a track record. It's there, right? So this is why I believe, given where the country is today, the need for change, the need to grow the economy, to create jobs for our people, right? To grow the revenue base. I believe I bring the best set of experiences to accomplish that, to do that. And that's why I want Liberians to look at. And then they can make the choice. They can make the contrast. But I'm not here to disparage my colleague in the CPP. I will not do that. I will just speak to what I believe I bring. And I believe it fits where the country is today and where the country needs to go. And that's why I say we have a choice. We can go back and vote for the past. We can vote for the present. The past didn't work. The present now working. Or we can vote and think about the future and do things differently to change our country.
Would there be a time when the gloves will come out, even though you're not here to attack, but it's a race? Would there be a time where Mr. Cummings want to be pushed against the wall and he can't go through that wall, he has to come back? Would there be a time that you're going to get the gloves out?
Well, I don't know it's about getting the gloves off or not. You see, this is also part of the political environment we should try to change as well. The fact is, we are all part of the CPP. The fact is, when I win, or if I win the CP nomination, Mr. Boyka, his people will support me. If he wins, I and my people will support him. We got to keep the prize in mind. The prize is to make President Weah a one-term president.
One-term president. Now
the prize and the goal, Alfonso, the prize and the goal, let me just change that the prize word. The goal is to make Mr. Weah a one-term president. That's what Ambassador Boyka wants to do. That's what I want to do. So we need to all make our case to CP partisans. Why us? And then they will compare. So Joe will make a case, I will make my case, and then the partisans of the CPP will say, okay, now come and bring this. Joe brings that. They will pick, they will decide. And then we come together and we'll make Mr. Weah one-term president. Then we'll take, in fact, even before we get there, we'll take the glory of Mr. Weah. Because ultimately, that's what we're trying to
I'm trying to sense out something here. You are speaking in a very exhortatory tone, and I'm trying to get what you are saying here. There is a bounding, there is commonalities here within the CPP. So, no matter where it lays, if Boyka wins it to come on top, will Cummins go as number 2? If you are to be top in that direction, will you go as number 2?
No, I think it's premature to have that conversation. Let me tell you why. Let me explain why. Right? Mm-hmm. We are to your earlier point, Alfonso. We are in a competition for the standard bearership of the CPP, and to start having the discussion about who should go number 1 and number 2, then what's the point of having the competition if we already agree that So several things to say to this. First of all, many people who are suggesting that don't want to